Okay, folks, good evening, morning, afternoon, and night, what have you. Your time zone is yours, and I dread the time zones that I still have to figure out in the near future. Hello, everybody, this is the 2021 Nisei Intercontinental Championship, and as you can see, we're still kicking tires on things here, of course. Do you kick tires on things? I don't know. Hello to everybody on the chat. We're gonna be kicking off quite soon. I hear that I'm supposed to be doing things today. So, I don't know. I haven't touched things for organized play in a while. Let's hope I don't break stuff. And, of course, I'm not running the whole thing. No. I'm just going to be doing some funky things here and there. But, you might be wondering, what is this dude talking about? What's going on here? Why am I here? Who's the big blue guy in the background? So give me 2 minutes to explain things to you in case you have no idea what's going on, which you are absolutely entitled to feel like, because guess what? For some people it's Sunday. Hello to Shorty, hello to you, hello to Simply the Onion, thank you so much for the stream yesterday, Vale, and Stoned, and Osklet, and everybody else? Yes. Good time of day, night, or what have you. Today, we are going to celebrate Netrunner and the last 3 weekends. So basically, most of August, the weekends were quite busy for Netrunner players around the world because we had the Intercontinental Championships happening. Therefore, of course, you might remember we had people fighting for the title and the bragging rights to be the Continental Champion of Asia Pacific, Continental Champion of Europe and Africa, and Continental Champion of the Americas. I don't know if we should be saying the Americas. The South and North America, or the North and South America, depending on how you turn your globus or globe or maps around. You speak as if you know how it happened last time. Some people are already in the know for technical issues. Yes. Before we start, hello there, Ginevra. Before we start, huge apologies in advance if anything explodes, breaks, or just doesn't work. It's probably on me. It's probably on a bunch of other things, but I hope to make it work for you today in a way that's going to be enjoyable. And speaking of enjoyable things, why don't we just jump straight into the thing that I should be explaining to you right now. I hope it's not going to be too small, but I signed the contract, so I should tell you how the things are going to proceed today. Lion, thank you so much for the sub. That's we really appreciate that. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to do the whole streamer thing because I'm not, you know, like a celebrity. So we're just going to proceed with the proceedings. Here's the event rules. And yes, they're presented to you in glorious black and white because it's awesome. So, here we are. The Intercontinental Championship 2021, or Championships. I never know whether I should make it plural or not. Never mind. The rules are as follows. Each player of the 12 players entering the tournament has 3 lives. Each loss a player has makes them lose a life. A player's final standing is dependent on when they are eliminated. So there's going to be a bracket. You're going to see it in all its brackety glory in a second. And I'm going to be actually generating the bracket live here on stream, live and direct. Anyway, the rounds are going to be 40 minutes long and are going to be following the regular timing structure. The rounds stop having a time limit when there's only 2 players left. And players only play 1 side per round. It's a single-sided triple elimination extravaganza. It's something we haven't tried before, but I think it was tested by somebody somewhere, right? Just wondering. Anyway, people will be able to choose their side the same way we do it in cuts. So higher seeds will have preference and so on and so forth. I will leave the lovely OP people to figure it out because they know the best. The pairings. We will have 12 seeds, 12 people entering. There has been some shuffling around. I'm gonna maybe talk about it a bit later because we had some people dropping, not being able to attend and so on and so forth. But 12 people will be facing off today. And seeds 1 to 3 will be assigned randomly to Continental Champions. Seeds 4 to 6 people on the second places. Then seeds 7, 9 third place. And seeds 10, 12 the fourth places. To avoid buys in weird spots, that sounds like cosmetic advice, right? If you don't want to have a buy in a weird spot. Well, anyway, buys will be awarded to seeds 1 to 4 in the first round. That's kind of cheating. No, that of course makes sense. And there will be a 40-minute break after round 4. There will be a 20-minute break after round 8. So you can plan your food, plan your what have you if you're playing. If you're not playing, you can just watch us all the time or not at all. The deck lists are open and they will be made public to you, folks. You will be able to see this. You will be able to explore the decks. I will not be pulling them up on screen too much. I will assume everybody has access to them because you should be able to see them. So peruse, browse, and enjoy at your own leisure. And we're going to be talking about the deck lists, of course, here as well. The contenders, so the people playing today, may watch the stream between rounds. This is not considered stream sniping or anything like that. And pairings can be found on this spreadsheet and will also be posted on Discord for the people participating. So now, let's just take a very, very quick look at this amazing bracket. This is a bracket to end all brackets. There is the upper bracket, excuse me. I'm gonna say bracket a lot today, so I have to practice my Brazilian brackets. The Intercontinental's bracket, the upper bracket, the middle bracket, and the lower bracket. And also the eliminated, which is a non-bracket. But anyways, you can see a lot of pairing going on, a lot of lines going places, and I'm gonna be navigating this a lot today. I better get used to this. If you don't like the colors, I'm sorry, but this is what I'm using as an extension. So there, you will just be able to see things in those colors, and I hope you are okay with them because I like them. Dark, and it's raining, and it's so cyberpunk and neon. Also, the remaining lives, we're gonna be still, of course, filling these out. The lovely OP folks are gonna be filling this out, but look at those beautiful hearts. They're gonna be dropping, and you can see the tracking of this in this spreadsheet as well. This should be available to everybody. And if not, well, anyway, Spreadsheet Runner is the name of the game, Simply Onion, indeed. Well, anyway, you had the rules. You will be able to browse them. So let's take a look at the roster, shall we? We have the Intercontinental Championship roster here, and you can see the seeds. And like I already mentioned, if you know the results of the 3 previous weekends by heart, I'm sorry if we're changing stuff for you. But some players just couldn't make it. Some players jumped into their places, and I'm really, really grateful. I think we're all really grateful that we have 12 contestants today because it's going to be so much fun. Good afternoon, Yakuza sir. And we're going to be randomizing things live and direct on the screen here. Are you ready? I hope you're ready because I have to figure out how I set it up somehow, right? Right, this was set up. Can somebody confirm this was set up? Wait, I'm going to press a button now if things are going to explode. No, this is not what I should be doing, right? Nope. Okay, wait a second. Because never before in the history of the internet have things been pressed to randomize things. Ah, there we go. So this is going to be randomized using the best possible method on the internet, and I'm pretty sure you all know what that method is, right? And I'm going to do a thing, because I should be doing a thing. And I'm not going to be responsible for this myself, or I will be responsible for this myself, but I'm going to introduce, I hope to have my first co-host very, very quickly. Mr. Buggles, also known as Matt, also known as, hey, the person responsible for doing all the cool things with localization of Nisei cards. And let me tell you, as a person that was involved with this a bit here and there, it's not easy. But I'm trying to drag Mr. Buggles into the stream. I think he's here. Matt, are you here?
Hello, I am here.
Okay, wait a second. Yeah, you're here. Okay, keep talking, of course, because things have to change.
Well, I'm very excited, very much looking forward to this. It was an absolute blast last year. I think everyone really enjoyed watching the marathon that we had last year.
Oh yeah, some of us enjoyed streaming it as well. I still remember the screen hangover I had the day afterwards. I was like, no more screens for a year. And
yeah, I took regular breaks, I feel. I don't know how the people who played all the way to the end managed it, but it was very impressive.
Yep. So you can probably see on the screen we have the seeds. Will you be my I'm not gonna say lovely assistant because you're a lovely person, but that sounds kind of a bit I don't know, cringy. You're gonna will you be my yeah, exactly, like kind of 80s TV shows. We're not interested in that. This is the future. We're gonna use the internet. Are you willing to be my witness here and help me out randomize those things?
I am.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to switch now to the most amazing website ever created by anybody on the internet, I think. Behold, it is random.org. We should actually, one of the OP things I wanted to suggest to the organized play folks is like, why don't we just take everybody in a tournament, drop them there, and press a button, and then we have the results. But no, we're going to be randomizing the seeds. So for everybody's again, for everybody's benefit and clarity on what's going to happen right now, on this website you have the 3 first folks, the top seeds from the 3 different Continental Championships already entered, and I'm just going to bring it up on the screen again just to remind you. These are the people we're going to be pasting into this and then randomizing using a magical button. So let's take a look at this, huh? This is of course totally random. The number in the username doesn't mean anything, doesn't give you preference, but I would just like to notice that people in the top seeds are people with numbers in their usernames. I have a theory about it, but I'm going to press the randomize button right now. I'm viewing this form securely, the website tells me, and Matt is here with me to make sure that I'm not doing anything wrong, of course. So let me just press the randomize button. Yeah, it has been randomized, and here we have the randomization. So seed number 1 is Sokatu34. Seed number 2 is Django84. Seed number 3, the big unit 3000. So I'm just letting you know about this. This is on-stream official. I have pressed the button. Princess Space Kitten, who is actually the person running the tournament and making sure everybody's behaving nicely. That's it. I have pressed the button. You have the first seed. We're gonna go back. I'm going to use the magic of chopping things around. And let me just copy things again, because I should be doing things in a very orderly and nice fashion, right? And some people are already poking me with a very, very, very long stick. And I'll make it work, don't worry. How, by the way, how are you doing, Matt, today? Have you rested enough? Are you ready for this?
I'm prepared. I am very prepared.
Did you take notes? Did you review the decks? Did you everything?
I did give a quick skim through the deck lists. I'm not sure. Have they been made public yet? Is it still?
I believe they're coming up soon.
They will soon. There's I think one particularly spicy list, and a lot of the others look fairly familiar. Maybe slight tweaks from the various tournaments.
Yep. Okay, I'm ready to press the button once again. I feel like people, you know, like deciding the fate of the universe. This is so cool. This is the seeds 3, 4, 5, 6. So the second tier of seeds. Here we go. Randomization happened. Was this randomized? It seemed it was randomized, which is exactly the same order, but with 3 elements, of course, this is bound to happen sometimes. So seed number 4, TF34. Seed number 5, Rongi Dodge, and seed number 6, MJP. Okay. Everybody has this? Okay. Let's go. And then let's take a look at the spreadsheet again that I'm going to be randomizing the data. Now we're going to be shuffling people between... Whoops, I already broke stuff. Oh well. Between Cable Carnage, Lost Geek, and NB Kelly, let's press the randomize button. It totally randomized things. NB Kelly is going to be seed number 7. Lost Geek, seed number 8. Cable Carnage, seed number 9. So here we go. This is the randomization as it happens. And then... the last batch of people to be randomized, and they're all lovely people. I'm just randomizing it because I was told to. I'm just following orders here, folks, seriously. The King, Rotom Appliance, and Motion Blur. From these 3 lovely folks, the order for the bottom part of the table is gonna be the King, Rotom Appliance, and Motion Blur. So that's randomization of 3 elements live and direct on the screen as well. We should be, of course, reviewing this with the OP folks who are filling stuff out. If anybody's lost on what's going on, there will be all the information inputted into the spreadsheet that you have been linked to. So the bracket and everything else is going to be there. This is probably the most important piece of documentation for today, including the rules, the players, the lives, and everything. The deck lists are also linked from there. Okay, so we have randomized things. Should I be going places yet? No, I should be just switching to here, because now we're going to take a short break, a commercial... No, I'm kidding. No commercial breaks here. Matt, who do you think is going to win this? And I'm asking the who regarding the IDs.
The IDs? I mean, playing the numbers sports seems extremely likely, given that it's almost half the field, I think. And on the runner side, given that amount of sports, I think it'll be an amazing job if anyone on 419 manages to navigate all the way to the final and win it, they're going to have to play Sports Metal so many times. It feels like if Sports just gets the perfect draw, which surely it will in a couple of those games, and 419 really struggles. So I'm going to stick with Max on Sports, I think. Which flavor of Max, I'm not sure. Whether it'll be Hive Mind or APOC. Yeah, that's difficult to tell. I think I'm going to go with APOC Max.
APOC Max and Sports.
Stargate for the win. And Sports, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that is a bold prediction. I would say it's a hot take, but it's a very cool-minded, level-headed take, because these are the numbers, this is the meta, and you cannot really outplay the meta. You can try, and there is, of course, a part of luck involved in everything here, because this is a random card game after all, but still, numbers are numbers. And speaking of numbers and brackets and spreadsheets and so on, the lovely Princess Space Kitten and company, so the whole OP team is on it, and we're gonna take a quick look at the brackets being generated right now live and direct. You can see the matchups here, and we're gonna be going, of course, from left to right on this screen, because that's the way my screen works. Some people have screens going in different directions, but this is the order for today. We're gonna have 4 matches in the first round, and well, pick and choose and pick, but basically any of those match-ups is going to result in a winner going forward to meet the seeds that have received the buys in the first round. This is basically the elimination. Of course, there later on it will be a bit more complicated. That's why this spreadsheet is invaluable. Protected at all costs. It will be the only source of truth for today. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna have much more clarity after the first round. But we have the first matchups of Lost Geek versus Cable Carnage, Rongi Dodge versus Motion Blur, MJP versus Rotom Appliance, and NB Kelly versus The King. And later on, we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so quite exciting, I have to say, the beginning of this. We'll see if things work out well for everybody. Fingers crossed. I'm checking in with Discord and whatnot. And in the meantime, Matt, are there any news about? Do you have any scoops? Because this seems to be like a tradition. Anytime there's a Nisei, you know, we need to throw the word scoops around a bit, right? Like, what are the scoops? We need them. Are there any scoops on the horizon?
Not that I can communicate. I mean, obviously, I pay attention to stuff internal to Nisei, but from translation, we're obviously kind of at the end of the line. So anything that we get should have already been very widely available in English, unless something has gone very wrong. So I don't have any scoops whatsoever. There's a couple of upcoming translations coming along, Spanish, Catalan, which is exciting, and Japanese. Aside from that, I can't give you anything, I'm afraid.
Fair enough. I mean,
also, quick question.
Yeah.
In the bracket, there's obviously 4 people that got buys, but there are only 3 continental winners up to this point. Do you know how they decided who got the 4th buy that was?
That was randomized. Indeed, yeah. Okay. No, this was the seed number 4 randomized, and I think it's fair that we randomize it online. It was all random. This is all random. This is Netrunner. It's all random. Well. Anyway, people are setting the tables up. I'm just gonna remind folks of the pairings. We're not using Cobra for today. The Snake has a break. The Snake is on a break, and we're gonna be going into the table soon. Let's just figure out which table we should be watching. What would you choose? Because let's be honest, today everybody's equal. Whoever ends up on whatever position, whatever placement, they're all made it to this stage, which is wild and quite an achievement. So any table is actually fair game. Pick and choose.
Yeah, I honestly don't mind too much. Based on deck lists, I'd be excited to see NB Kelly versus the King. But great. It depends on which side, because it's single limb, right? So yeah, I'm excited to see NB Kelly's runner. But if they're co-oping, then I have no strong preference. Okay,
so let's chance it. Let's take a quick look if we are actually lucky with this. They should be starting soon. And folks, if anything is not working for you on the stream, do let me know in the chat, because you know, I do need to make sure that things are working, and things have to be clicked, cables have to be pulled, whatnot, but we're here. This is it. This is the game. And we're gonna have the king running actually, so maxing versus Reality Plus. NB Kelly on Reality Plus. They're gonna be starting. Both kept their hand, and off we go. Matt, over to you.
Okay. Let me jump into the game. Okay, so this looks like a fairly standard start we've got here. 2 ice and a hedge fund. Both players kept their hand.
This is the exciting part. I mean, they just went for it. Yeah.
So yeah, we are... Oh, the DJ Fenris. That's sad. The DJ Fenris is the first mill. It's probably the spiciest card in Brandon's deck, but I don't think we're going to see it this game, unfortunately. Can't imagine that's going to be a top priority to recur. So yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I think a lot is going to hinge on how early the king can land an APOC, and if they can avoid being tagged or too poor when they do so. It's definitely going to be the best way to deal with all of the annoying ice in the deck, I would think.
Yeah, Reality Plus definitely having this additional bonus of just profiting from tags like NBN should, and this is kind of baked into this ID, so absolutely there's gonna be ice that's going to just, tag you on site, just to give you this benefit of choice. And the king already, of course, due to Max's ability, filling the heap up with some interesting cards that we were, of course, expecting, because the deck lists are public, and this is an archetype that has seen play over the last few weeks, if not months, and it's quite popular.
For sure.
Yeah.
The upgrade on HQ is interesting. I'm just looking at the list, and there's actually a little bit of spice. I was assuming it was definitely going to be a price sec, but there is also an Amaze Amusements in the list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to guess that it's probably a price sec on HQ. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be a Rashida in server 1 at this point, but especially if they kept their hand. I can't imagine they had a handful of upgrades that they kept, but Brandon is drawing very, very heavily here. And yeah, choosing not to run the gauntlet of dirty laundering into a upgraded HQ.
You definitely want to money up, because money will be the name of the game once the corp is going to try and punish you for doing your thing, of course.
Yeah, so we have the Rashida Fire, and the king already has an MK Ultra and a Black Orchestra in the bin. So that's good that they've got 2 breakers out early. They'll just be desperately trying to get a paperclip in there as soon as possible. And I assume lining up for the APOC.
By the way, for folks on the stream, in the chat, like I mentioned, there is an elimination bracket. The spreadsheet will have all the information, and just for everybody who might not be following the chat, the decklist will be available shortly. The TOs are checking them before making them public, just to make sure everything is fine, but absolutely 12 public sets of playlists will be available for you shortly. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for flying Air Nice. Do we have an airline? No, we don't have an... Not yet. We're still working on that.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
I'm sorry. Anyway, the king going in heavy on the draw, and this is saying a few things here, I guess. You're either looking for the pieces, or you're just trying to filter your hand as much as possible. But I mean, 24 cards left in the stack. That means that either there's very little good fortune in the draw, or the king is just trying to set up.
They just drew all the breakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Discarding all 3. Okay.
Yep.
But on the plus side, all the breakers are available. Tomorrow's headline scored, which is mildly annoying. Presumably the king will want to clear that tag, but it's going to be a money race, and depending on, I think a lot's going to depend on how quickly MB Kelly draws the next agenda, and what the exact ice is on HQ and R&D, but price tag on HQ is extremely annoying for APOC lists. I I guess if you go in with a relatively full hand, then you'd have to be pretty unlucky to get the APOC knocked out, but who knows. Oh, and a fermenter. Okay. The one-off fermenter in the list. MB Kelly is still making money and jamming. They seem to have had a pretty smooth draw here. 2 hedge funds and a Rashida played. Agenda scored, load of ice on the board, something else in server 1. It's really forcing Brandon to the king to consider whether he already wants to start poking, or maybe even go for the APOC if he has it. Because once MB Kelly gets to 4 points, things start to get a little bit dicey. Especially when you've got 4 3-pointers, so the foods and the Bologna and the QPMs, which will presumably be at that point, if you're on 4 points, just install double advancing them behind taggy ice. It gets very, very, very annoying very quickly for the runner.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, it's just that day job is perfectly timed. If there's an APOC in hand now, that is really, really threatening. At 27 credits, going to go up to 29. That's a lot of money. So I think the next turn is going to be very interesting. But go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, this is the thing with the decklist that we have here. Like anything advanced in the remote has to be an agenda. There's nothing else. There's no NGO. There's no ruses to be had there. The only thing that is a bit of a spicy thing here is the single copy of a snare somewhere floating there, which you of course never advance. And I'm curious if we're going to see a snare crash, so to speak, or is the king going to get ensnared here?
It's the worst nightmare of an APOC deck, random snare on a central.
Yep.
I don't think I'd be amazed if the snare ever gets installed against APOC. Maybe if you're on 6 points, then you might consider never advancing it, but I think that's just going to be... If it's been drawn, it will be kept in HQ for the entirety of the game, or shuffled back into R&D potentially.
Oh, here we go. Stargate. Okay, so...
Okay, it's interesting going for the Stargate before the APOC. It does somewhat force the ice issue, but when that ice being forced is Mausolus, that's... the Corp is extremely happy to have that on R&D. I think it's so expensive to break, and if you're on your APOC turn, unless you want to play the roulette of hoping the Mausolus doesn't hit the APOC, hoping what we assume is the price sec on HQ doesn't hit the APOC, trying to land it is very difficult.
Okay, we have a QPM in there.
There is a QPM. I think, the Funhouse is also extremely, unless you give up on the APOC plan, the Funhouse is also extremely annoying. Kind of forces you to end your turn tagged, and between that and the ice we've already seen, I'm not sure I would be happy to let them have it. Yeah, Funhouse goes down. I suspect with the Mausolus on R&D, we may, unless it's been milled, so the Rebirth has not been milled, I would imagine the king is probably looking to... it's going back in with an overclock just to get the 1-pointer. That is interesting.
Yeah, the thing is, it looks like the king is going here for an actual honest runner plan, which is, hey, I'm going to run and score agenda, thus disrupting the corpse plan.
Right?
Yeah. Well, this is, maybe it's a ruse. Oh. We're going in, we're getting the kitty.
It only cost two real credits, so I can see why they're going for it. But yeah, I suspect if the king is still planning to APOC, they might well be drawing hard to try to get Rebirth, just to avoid having to deal with this into Omar, to avoid potentially having to deal with this Mausolus. Because you can't pay 9. It's too much.
Yep. And the single Mausolus definitely doing a bit to tax the runner out, but the king still keeping on 20 credits. That's good. There we go, the second R&D ice install. So NB Kelly going, yeah, well, you might want to run, but it's going to cost you The
Yeah.
Corp, in the meantime, something in server 1, single advanced, and a decent situation, kind of begging to be APOC'd, but the king so far, how many APOCs do we have in the bin? Let me just see. I've seen
Just
one.
the one.
Just the one, yeah. So there's the plan is still on the table, absolutely.
It is. Without rebirth, it's going to be difficult. I think. I mean, I don't know what the other ice is on R&D, obviously, but it's trying to get through that and deal with presumably the price tag on HQ. You're going to risk losing the apocalypse to some sort of damage. Yeah, I'll be interested. Interesting decision here. I mean, the king has a lot of money, but when you start to factor in removing tags and having to install and use the other Anarch breakers, it will disappear very, very quickly.
That's the thing, and we also see that the stack is getting thinner and thinner as it does with Max, and at some point this Anarch engine of money making and spending is gonna run out of fuel. So the question is, will or when and if, but when will the king decide to pull the APOC trigger and see what actually gets trashed from this Corp setup? The Corp is not in a bad state here, like 14 credits, that's a decent amount of money. It's kind of within the range of I can still money up and do things. So I guess the king might be going here for some more pressure just before APOCing, or maybe it's just gonna go full APOC this or next turn. Let's see.
Single advance is quite interesting because there's no NGOs. The tomorrow's headline is scored already, so you're not threatening to stick a tag. And there's 4 5/3s in the deck, and no way that I'm seeing. No, there's no seamless or anything, so there's no way to score out that if that's a 5/3 in server 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing it's either a 15 minutes, probably not, or a QPM. But single advancing it probably isn't too much of a threat, and yeah, the king has not run it. It's just setting up for the APOC here.
Yep.
Because you don't care if they score a QPM at all, and it's not threatening to be a Bellona or a GFI. So I definitely agree with leaving it there. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. We now have a triple advanced card in server 1 that wasn't scored. But there is the threat of the APOC. So MB Kelly seems either it's potentially a QPM and you don't care that much, but then you'd still just score it. So they seem to be quite confident that they're not going to get APOC'd here.
Yeah, that seems like my board state is strong enough or good enough to survive whatever the runner is gonna set up here. But we do have all the breakers in the heap. Most likely there's at least one APOC in the hand for Omar, who actually, of course, Max turned into to make it even better or easier to pull off the APOC plan. And let's see, this is absolutely a gambit. Absolutely agreeing with the chat. There we go, out of the ashes. This seems to be the turn.
Oof. Okay, Mausolus on both the places that Omar would want to run is pretty rough. Imagine there's going to gain 1 for the Corp both times. Yeah.
And this is the thing with the economy of the runs. Unless you're playing a very particular type of runner, like for example in the times of Geist and so on, usually at the end of a run you will have less money than you started with. And the Corp, on the other hand, there are quite a few effects in the cards or in the mechanics to make sure that actually once you res all the ice, once things happen, you might have more money, or at least the same amount of money you had before after, of course, resing all the stuff. And especially in a ID like Reality Plus, where you do have the option to get money on the runner's turn when they get tagged for some reason, and that's a big support for your nefarious Corp plans if you want to pull off something to punish them. But we have another Out of the Ashes run here, of course, but this is the continuation of the first one. Oh no, this is the second one. Excuse-moi. Yeah, sorry, there's just so many ashes here.
It's it's very nice. Out of the Ashes is nice. If you're trying to APOC a taggy Corp like Reality Plus or CTM, it gives you option. Like, you don't have to remove the tags afterwards, of course, but you have normally 2 clicks spare after the APOC to tidy up a bit or recover from tags or whatever you may want to do.
Oh, that's
so it is a price tick, and it hit an APOC. I'm hoping for the king's sake there's 2 in hand, otherwise getting the 1 in 5 APOC hit out of hand is going to feel pretty bad.
Yeah. This is...
That said, the remote now is definitely challengeable if that is time to abort the APOC.
Yeah, it all boils down to what you just said. Yeah, 2 APOCs in hand and 1 APOC in hand. If there's only one, that might change plans a bit for the king.
The king's trashed the price deck, so I can't imagine he's going for the APOC anymore because there's no point paying for it. But it's interesting because there's no hard-hitting news in this list. So the tag threat is the public trail into exchange of information. But exchange of information does nothing right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that I'm still fascinated by the line of keeping this agenda on the board, because if the APOC did go through, there isn't too much you can follow up with that I could see. Because you can play public trail for a tag, but it's not going to do too much. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what eventually happens with this server 1 for sure.
Yep. Just a quick look into the heap to confirm that we have 2 APOCs in there, and APOC has not been played just yet. The king drawing up, so the APOC plan has not been scrapped just yet because we still have 3 clicks thanks to the runs being initiated by Out of the Ashes. But let's see whether there's in those 11 cards, because I would assume the king is just looking for the last APOC right now. And if not, what's gonna happen here? The situation quite interesting. Like you mentioned earlier, Matt, the remote is looking better and better. Now we have an overrun.
Maybe he found it.
Yeah.
I can't see what. Yeah, he must have found it. I can't see. He wouldn't go for a single access on presumably R&D for any reason. So. Or maybe he had it all along and was just drawing to see if he got his last overclock to make this a bit cheaper.
Now, is the runner boom happening? Fire away, Kablooey. It is.
And now everyone is poor and nothing is on the board.
But the king still has a click. So would we be running the archives here with 2 credits potentially into a Bologna? Probably doesn't make sense, right?
No, I don't think so. It could be a QPM left in there. Maybe that's what was in the remote. Yeah, this is actually an extremely interesting situation now. Both players relatively poor. The APOC was very effective, but King kind of needs to rebuild money before much else can happen.
And then Kelly here capitalizing on the fact that, okay, the runner is poor, breakers are in the bin and everything, but money is definitely needed to contest a remote with a piece of ice. And there we go, server 3 is pushing onward with the plan. Could be a snare in there, for all we know, of course. Why not? 5 cards face down, including 2 cards from the remote that got APOC'd. So curious to see what's in there. Probably a price tag and an agenda, because nothing else could be there. But what agenda? Now, the question is, will the king credit up and try and see the archives, potentially snatching a Bologna? We do have a tag on the runner as well, so you have to watch out for the kitties, because Quantum Predictive Model will not be for you if you run into one. And here we go, moshing. Crashing labor rights, okay.
Interesting. Yeah, this seems. I mean, I think a lot is going to depend on how much ice was just drawn. So this 5 ice got APOC'd, and there is 13 in the list, and there's 1 on the board. So yeah, they're very much going for the jam out behind a single piece of ice while the runner's poor.
We have some breaking news for everybody on the chat. The deck lists are now live. Huge thanks to Mike for running things in the background on the chat there on Discord. On Twitch. And we are following what you're talking about there, folks. It's just, this is an exciting game and we're really focusing on a table here. And double advance in server 3. The king on 4 credits. Will he decide to contest this? The question.
So many permutations, it gets quite complicated. And there's only one Bellona in the list.
Yeah.
That would be best by far for MB Kelly if that is Bellona.
Yeah.
It's kind of a funny situation with the exchange threat.
It is the Bellona.
Okay, that's huge.
This is big, yeah. This is big because money in the bank and 5 points on the table with the runner not in a very good spot. And yeah, well, we'll see. 8 cards in the archives. We do know for a fact that there's an agenda in there. We just don't know what it is. No tags on the king, so I would guess there's going to be a poke into the archives just to force the spin doctor, maybe?
Possibly. I mean, it depends though. If there's a 3-pointer in archives, and I mean the 15 minutes is still available to be scored from hand, and it's not difficult to score QPMs in this deck. So getting to, even if you might even consider swapping if a Bellona, there's no other Bellonas, but if a 3-pointer does get stolen, you still might consider doing the public trail into exchange play with the tomorrow's headline, because putting yourself on 6 points when you've got QPMs in 15 minutes is also a really good spot to be in. But at least, I mean, it was good for MB Kelly that they scored the Bellona now. At least now the king knows that the Bellona is not the agenda in archive, so it doesn't have to constantly keep that 5 credit extra sort of tax in mind.
Absolutely. You just have to be worried potentially about the tags if you want to snatch the kittens. But you probably have bigger fish on your mind, because 1 point, you definitely want to get into the other agendas. The problem is, if you're that poor, all of a sudden the threat of actually getting tagged with the 2 of public trails is a thing. We haven't seen, I'm just going to check the bin, we haven't seen any public trails in the bin just yet, so let's just see what's gonna happen here. This is a much more corp-favored game, I would say, at this stage than it was several turns ago.
For sure, and the king, it's an interesting labor rights decision, has gone for the pure money recursion route. So they haven't decided to go for the more Hail Mary route of get rid of the spin doctor, slap down the Stargate. Although there is, how many Stargates? Is there just the one Stargate in the list and it's now face down? That could also be...
There should be 3 of...
Oh, there should be 3.
Yeah,
okay.
It's all about getting the money for the Stargate and then just going for it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's really different. Like, Max has no... apart from APOCing now, Max has no way to deal with a QPM behind a funhouse. And there's still 2 QPMs and the 15 minutes left, so it's difficult. So I keep saying Max, I mean it's Omar now, but it was Max.
The king moneying up, but nowhere near the double-digit totals for credits that we have seen earlier on the game. And NB Kelly just saying, hey, I have a double advanced card in server 3. This is game, maybe, or maybe not. Would you like to go and see my remote? And here we go, that's an overclock. Let's see if this is a ping. Nope, it's a thought. Ooh.
Okay.
Serious business. Going real low on the money here. On the corpse side.
No, it's actually not bad at all for the king, right? Because I mean, the worst that's going to happen is, yeah, exactly, and they can't boost the trace. So if you trace through, you could just, if you really care about the net damage, overclock to pay that, and then lose 1 credit for having one tag.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you can't. I mean, can you even afford to break it with MK Ultra? I don't know. I can't be bothered to work out that maths, but I'll be amazed if the MK Ultra does come out.
Yeah, actually, the overclock money sets you up really nicely here. You don't have to worry. There's the tag, of course, because you have to take it to encounter it. 2 credits for NB Kelly, which does totally make sense. And the king just going for the subroutines, just like you mentioned. No increase on the first race. So that's a ping of net damage, if it happens. The king paying through with the overclock. Second trace is going to fire as well.
I think they'll happily lose a credit.
Yep.
And then...
And we're in. Is this a kitten? That's the question.
Yeah, the question is now, do you jack out? It's a global food.
Food. Okay. That was
now, for
gold.
the first time in a long time, the king has more money than the corp. I am just going to have to mute myself for 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for letting me know. So we're in a situation where the king can easily shake the tag off. Then again, an exchange of information here is far from game over, but would put the corp on 6 points, and then 15 minutes is still somewhere in there. Could be in archives, could be in R&D, could be in hand. So this is a dangerous situation here for the king to consider, but generally just shake the tag, and yeah, this is what happens. Question is, will you be able to money up on... yeah, this is the trick now, because public trail does exist, but to play public trail you need to have the money. And NB Kelly on the money side, not looking that great. 4 credits is just enough if I remember correctly. But yeah, is this a good idea here? Because of course exchange of information costs you a whole 0 credits, unless again I'm wrong. My memory might be a bit wonky from yesterday's Eternal stream where we just had all the cards all the time. But is it worth here going to 0 just to go to 6? Probably, maybe, perhaps, because then you just have to eke out a win with the 15 minutes, which just requires 2 credits. And here we go, that's the plan. Public trail, 4 credits. The runner is gonna get a tag. And I forgot, of course, if you give the runner a tag, you get the 2 credits. Duh. So here we go. Akimun-chan going GG in the chat. And here we go, exchange of information. So that's the plan here. We're on 6. And we're kind of game point corp now. The runner definitely not on game point much. You need to steal 2 more agendas. Be it foods. Well, actually, be it foods, that's it. You just have to get the foods or eke out a win with the 1-pointers. But it's going to be hard if you're tagged. This is looking so-so for the runner right now. It's not over yet, of course. And the corpse plan here is going just according to the preliminary decisions by the CEOs of NBN, I guess. But let's not discount the king's legendary Yomi and skills, because we do know that there's an agenda in the bin. We do know that R&D has 13 cards. We do know that Stargates in multiple copies exist.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. There was the public trail into exchange of information. Corp is on game point for sure, with the credits to pull it off. The runner, not so much, but it is the runner's turn now, and the king is on 9 credits, which is not a bad number.
Yeah, this is the turn to have a long think for sure.
Indeed. And I'm not even checking the time here.
To...
Sorry. Go on.
No, right. If you do any run that isn't Stargate, you have to clear the tag. Otherwise, you can just win the corp the game as soon as you touch a QPM. But there's also the 15 minutes threat.
Yep. Okay, we're going for the doctor. He's gonna spin out of this, probably, because why wouldn't you RFG the spin doctor to put 2 cards back in at this stage? There is no other answer. 9 minutes on the clock. Hey, so yeah, thank you, Princess Space Skin, for just letting people know. And indeed, we're not checking the time because we don't want to put pressure on the people watching the stream. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Okay, so tag being removed, and Yeah, I think you have to. I think Stargate is next turn's plan, assuming you're still in it. You just have to try to find the 15 minutes.
Oh, but
no.
hey, guess what? You cannot pay for it, so snare averted.
Oh wow.
Oof.
Sad snare. Sad
That's
trombone. And they do not have it. I mean, they may now, but they did not draw it.
Yeah. We're going just for the money in server 3 install, so chances are it's a QPM just sitting in there waiting to be scored by the corp, because when you encounter Thoth, you will have to get a tag. No way.
And they're perfectly on 3 credits.
Yep. How do you hop over a Thoth? Excuse, I don't even know how to speak ancient Egyptian, but how do you jump over this ancient Egyptian ice in order not to get a tag with this deck? It's kind of hard. It's kitty bait indeed, chat.
Yeah, and all the apocs are in the bin, so that's off the table. So it is regular runs and or Stargate.
I would assume Stargate R&D hoping for the food, because there are still 2 foods in there, so chances are, if there's a food in the archives, which could be, and we don't know, maybe you snatch the 7 points, or the 4 points you need to go to 7 from this, but this is of course a very big
sure.
if. Yeah.
You may even get lucky and see them both on the Stargate.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you have to assume that this is the last turn. I don't think you can play any other way at this point. So you just need to maximize accesses, and I imagine work out whether you want to go HQ twice.
Oh, here we go.
Going for the Stargate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the chat just giving us all possible permutations of the things you could do here, and this is Netrunner. You have to decide. There's a QPM and there's a food.
So there's only 2 clicks left though, so you can get the food.
I would say trash the QPM, get the food, and then run archives and hope for the best.
Yeah, although the Spin Doctor was popped, right? So
could be another Spin Doctor in server 3. I don't know.
That's true. I think the king would not be complaining if that was the case.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Trash the QPM, go back for the food, and then decide whether to go archives or HQ last click.
Mm-hmm. There's the QPM trash. And again, for everybody... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, no, I was saying you didn't even necessarily have to go back for the GFI before you did the other click, because it may change what you do, I guess.
I guess archives is win here because you have a QPM, and we know for a fact that there has to be an agenda in there. It was trashed early on with the APOC, right? Or oh no, sorry, the Doctor was popped. Right. I keep forgetting about the Spin Doctor. Excuse me. Maybe there's a second agenda in there.
That would have been bold, I think, playing the I will not ice any centrals, score out of a remote, and then leave agendas in archives when I use the Spin Doctor, unless they were really flooded at some point. But I'd be amazed if there's an agenda in archives.
So the king is doing the thinking, as kings do. You could actually change your username to the Thin King, and then it totally works. But anyway, R&D, 5 minutes on the clock, still plenty of time. Reminding everybody on the chat, the deck lists are public. You can find them on the chat, on Twitch. Here we go for the run. Okay, I'm breaking up the conversation here, and nothing. Okay, so yeah, 6 points, 6 points. That's a Rashida.
Oh no, but so wait, there's 1, 2, 15 minutes odds is pretty good. Here we go. Yeah, that was very fast. Yeah.
Oof.
That's it.
GG with the 15 minutes. And I think the 15 minutes. Yeah, this was a very, very good game. The 15 minutes tagline here, the flavor text is perfect. You had your shot and you blew it. This was a very, very close game. Both players just playing so close. And yeah, 7-6. This is the Netrunner we like to see, and there's a lot of excitement and whatnot. 35 minutes on the clock. Very good game. I'm happy we were.
It was an excellent start. And MB confirming there was nothing in HQ either, so the king actually had no outs at that point.
Yeah. Okay, let's leave the players to it then. This was the first of the 4 games that we looked at here in this round. The results are slowly trickling in. We're not going to be jumping into any other tables. Actually, this was the last table. Don't listen to me. I'm just a silly person who has no idea what he's talking about. We can probably at this stage take a look at the bracket if it was updated. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna give everybody a quick shout out because the lovely people from the artist colony, people who usually do a lot of cool stuff anyway, they decided to donate some alt arts of their making and whatnot, and some really cool things for the raffles today. You know, for all the raffle lovers, you can totally raffle away. There will be plenty of stuff happening in there in the chat. Just go on and raffle. And we do have the brackets updated. I'm going to be using the R a lot because if I go with an L, it's going to sound funny. Oof. Anyway, bracelet. That's yeah, that's an option. Why not? So here we are. I hope you can see this quite well, folks. If not, no, I actually, sorry, I refreshed. I should go 200%. There we go. Zoom zoom. So we have Cable Carnage eking out win against Lost Geek, Wrongy Dodge winning against Motion Blur, Rotom Appliance defeating MJP and NB Kelly, as we've seen on the stream. Very close game here, like this was amazing. And the pairings for the next round are up. So yeah, I guess we could figure out which table we're gonna go for.
So yeah, there's a lot of choice, right? Because there's going to be a couple of games in the middle bracket too.
Yep.
At this point. So I'd say, yeah, avoid NB Kelly or the King just because we just saw them. But
exactly.
The middle bracket doesn't start yet. Okay.
No, yeah, we're fine. Yeah, I guess it all depends on the pairings. I would say, like I mentioned earlier on, you know, we have so many cool players here with so many different. Some of them are different, but a lot of variety still. We should be choosing maybe IDs that are just interesting to see as matchups. We don't know what they will be choosing, so this is kind of a problem here for us to just jump into a table without knowing what's going to be on it. But we can, sure. You know, this is the bet we can take, right, as the people running the stream.
Okay. What is... I'm just looking quickly, trying to skim through the deck list to see
same here.
What...
Basically blue and purple and orange. I never know. Anarchs are orange or red as a color?
Orange for sure.
Orange, okay.
Definitely orange.
Okay, thank you. Just... I mean, this is the color thing. For me, it could potentially be red, but okay, it's orange. Chances are we're going to see some...
If we want to start an argument in stream chat, we could see if Cable Carnage is playing his 47 card max and see what people's opinions on 45, 46, and 47 cards is. But other than that, I think a lot of the singleton IDs are not currently playing each other, I believe. I believe match 5, 6, and 7 is all max HB, and I think that's it. And 4 and 9.
So I guess we're gonna choose between 5, 6, and 7 random. We're not gonna use random, okay? Just
the stream, I haven't been any requests in the stream chat, but if anybody has a request between tables 5, 6, and 7, then go ahead.
Exactly. Vote right now. There's no way for me to measure it or anything. Just been 7 requested. Okay, 7 sounds good. The big universe Rotom Appliance. That sounds good to me. Yeah. Why not?
Two very, very. This is not a negative comparison to anyone else in the cut, but these are 2 very, very meticulous players from what I've seen of them.
Yeah.
Very, very solid lines. Both playing 4 and 9 to an extremely high level. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and we're getting...
Either way, we're going to get to see a very good player playing 4-1-9. So.
Oh yeah, and we're getting into the sphere here, or the stage at which we have the Intercontinental, Continental champions jumping in on at this stage of the game. By the way, if anybody's lost in the way that the bracket works and so on, just follow the bracket. We're going to be choosing the games for you. The matches have all been numbered, so they will be happening in that order. And lives are being lost. Actually, yeah, we should totally look at the lives. Lives, I hope you can see it on the stream. If not, I'm sorry for the coloring scheme, but there are players who have lost 1 life each, of course. But they're still in the game. Everybody's still in the game. This is the thing. It's a bit of a hybrid setup, but we have MJP, Lost Geek, the King, and Motion Blur losing 1 life each. Maybe we can just swap the hearts and just remove the hearts? I don't know. To the people updating the spreadsheets, if you remove the hearts, it's going to be visible much more visually. Thank you so much, you're awesome, and the spreadsheet is absolutely amazing. Oh, sorry, clicking the wrong things here. So we're back to the bracket, checking in with the tables in the meantime. I feel like a waiter. Does anybody need anything at a table? No. They're, of course, having short breaks. We have a request. If 2 Continental champs get matched up, you should always watch that. Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah, fair enough. And how is the chat doing, by the way? I'm pretty sure we have people from all over the world, from many different time zones. I've seen, you know, usernames popping up from this side of the world, the other side of the world, relative different sides of the world. So thank you so much for being here with us and celebrating Netrunner. Check the lives. Okay, I think Lost Geek check things. Sorry. Oh yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. This is beautiful. Now we can clearly see who has many lives. And I don't know, the hearts, which video game is that? Is this like Mario or Minecraft or something? I'm trying to figure out.
I'm gonna say Mario, although
Yeah,
I feel like...
I don't even know if there are hearts in Mario, to be honest. I'm not a Nintendo person much. But anyway, Zelda. Chances are, I don't know, very, very possible. Okay,
No,
let's
it's
get back
Mario Kart, right? Mario, full stop. Your lives are hearts. I don't think you actually collect any, but your lives are hearts.
Huge shoutouts to Lost Geek for the spreadsheet and to Percomis for the spreadsheet, or well, basically to everybody. There should be credits. There probably will be credits at the end of it if I manage to put them together again. But everybody in the behind the scenes, like organizing things, talking on Discord, making sure that people know everything and they are informed and aware and they make conscious decisions and whatnot, and checking the rules and all the judge calls and all the beautiful spreadsheets and stuff like that. That's a lot of work.
Sure. It's very impressive. I mean, you don't even have Cobra to help you with this, so
Exactly.
running a bracket this size,
And you could just say
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, you could just say, why don't we have this triple elimination with lives in Cobra built in? Like, it's probably super easy to code, right?
Yeah, it's definitely easy. 5 minutes, worth it for a once-a-year tournament, for sure.
Okay, I think if we're going for match 7, which is the big unit versus Rotom Appliance, the table is being set up. It's called a quick one. So, I don't know. I mean, 40 minutes, right? One side and whatnot. Let's just say...
I mean, we don't know who's playing which side. 4-on-9 versus Sports can often be very quick. 4-on-9 versus PD is not necessarily quick.
Akira saying, I did it all manually last year, back in my day. And yeah, by the way, Akira, thank you so much for being there last year, because without you, it probably wouldn't have happened. So, Akira, for anybody who doesn't know by now, is on a very much earned and deserved retirement from Nisei's organized play, focusing on the things she likes best, which are a lot of cool things like arts and whatnot outside of Nisei in general. But I think one of the people who made a huge, who left a huge legacy in running huge events, online, offline, making sure that everything works, wrangling snakes and everything else into order. Yeah, so Akira, thank you so much for being there throughout the good times and the bad times as well.
Yeah, for sure.
We had a lot of
taking on this, I mean, all of the work was amazing, but taking on organizing this Intercontinentals for the first time last year with that huge bracket online, it was, amazing work.
And here we go, we're on the table. The game starts theoretically a few seconds ago. And we have 2 totally unexpected IDs, 419 and Sports Metal. Who would have thought this meta is totally wild? We can expect Crim Aggression and Speed.
Yeah, for sure. This is, I mean, as we saw in the Continentals, the 419 definitely can win this matchup, but I feel like it's quite draw dependent. If Sports gets the cards in the order that they want to get them, it almost, not to say it doesn't matter what 419 does, but they're really, really up against it. But if Sports doesn't have a perfect draw, the game gets pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of decisions to be made about when you want to pay to prevent the expose, like the ice on HQ here, versus not. So both players kept their hand again. We're being blessed with people happy with their opening hands today.
And here we go. Sports off to the races, trying to score early probably, or just Rashiding. Deuce is wild, so 419 of course, speeding up as well as much as possible. R&D open, but do we care? Probably not really. Oh, here we go. Sorry, apologies, I take that back. Dirty Laundry into R&D for a Hyperloop. This is what the corp wants to see, yeah. Take
this
my
is
one
perfect,
counters.
yeah. And then if that's a Rashida, that's a pretty good start. Oh, it's not a Rashida. Interesting. They're on Tranquility, right? I think. Tranquility home grid. Have a look. Yes. So, looking pretty likely.
So yeah, we have the chat saying Rotom Appliances, the runner's strategy here is steal Vacheron by turn 3. Yeah, this is what you want to do. Steal Vacheron turn 1 is the best, but you know, you have to go with plan B if plan A doesn't work out. And we're
okay, so big unit's got the early Mega pre-scored, so there's now 6 3-2s now in the deck. And I think a lot of it is going to come down to who finds them first.
Boomerang into HQ. Will there be a res with 8 credits? Yup. This is a magnet just because you can. Mega pre. Okay, well.
Got to start somewhere.
Yep.
It always feels bad. Like stealing Hyperloops and Mega Priest as the runner feels bad, but almost never going to win if you don't. So you've got to get them at some point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I really like the dynamic that Sports Metal has, although you could say it's a bit weird. But in the days of Harpsichord, you could only theoretically steal 1 agenda per turn, so you could see more, but you could only take 1. Here, you actually don't want to steal too many agendas. You just have to pace yourself as the runner, or you have to steal all of them in one go. Yeah, it's like, hey, boom, 6 points, 5 points, whatever match point game. Otherwise, it's really hard to pull it off.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. So there's one Spin Doctor down, and if they're on the big unit is on the same list as last week, I believe. So there's no sprints, and a Spin Doctor's in the bin, and they haven't seen a Rashida yet. So their draw, this probably explains a bit why they've been using the idea ability to draw cards, even though they're against 419. You often like to get money, but there's not as much raw draw in the deck as a lot of the other Sports Metal decks, so you're kind of forced to use your ID for draw a little bit more. Now we've got an interesting situation of 4 ice on the board, but the corp's only on 4 credits. So I think if 419 wants to poke around, they certainly can.
Yep. We're going for extra draw with Diesel. Giving you flames, no diesel, no fire. Okay, here come the orbs, the money onto the table, and more draw in the future with Earthrise Hotel. So 419 basically on holidays in the orb bit. And Sports Metal just playing its game, drawing extra cards as well. Even more. This one's going to be down to the wire. Both players knowing exactly what the other side has in their deck, so they will always have to take informed decisions, but you still have to bet against probabilities a bit, which is the poker side of things.
This isn't looking, I mean, it very much is going to depend on, I think, what, whether the Earthrise draws coupled with the Class Act bring the breakers or not. But this hasn't been the best start for Sports Metal. I mean, they're only on 4 credits, turn 4.
Yeah.
They've only got 1. They haven't found a Luminal or Vitruvius yet, so there's only a vanilla protecting server 1. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So Spin Doctor has shuffled, didn't shuffle back the other Spin Doctor, so maybe they really did draw into a load of agendas, or maybe multiple audacities potentially, because a lot of the time you would shuffle back the other Spin Doctor there and something else. So I'm guessing that since their opening hand, the draw hasn't been great for the big unit.
We have a bold claim in the chat. It's literally impossible to lose once you have double Rezeki. As a person that has lost numerous times with triple Rezeki on the table, which is probably too many Rezekis, I don't know. Inside job. Okay, we're going over inside. Sorry, over the vanilla with the inside job. Just checking the remote.
Assuming this.
Okay, that's a qualifier. Not
dropping
the
miss bonus was assuming that it was the tranquility, but being at 3 points, that's all the mega pre's are gone now. So the number of 3-2s available to the big unit is gradually. As I say that, the best 3-2 in the entire game gets scored, and the big unit gets to have another turn.
Yep. The thing is, you cannot score agendas for the remainder of the turn, which is a bit of a boo. But then again, you know, if you're bending time and space.
For sure, they opted to draw while only being on 1 credit, which is very interesting.
You don't need money or sports. You just have to sell more popcorn.
I mean, if there's an Audacity in hand and an agenda, then you're on 5 points.
Yeah, we need a popcorn card for sure.
Yeah, that Lumin. The fact that was a Luminal and not a Vitruvius was huge. And still not seeing any breakers from 419, which is rapidly becoming a problem when the only ice that's been rezzed has End the Run on it. And even more draw. I think Rotom is really desperately digging for breakers here. You can't do anything, otherwise you can't interact. Boomerang's only going to get you so far. Okay,
I'm just checking if there's any way of tutoring breakers. And there's a single mutual favor, but there's 3 Amakuas and 1 landing on the table right now, and a paperclip, which hasn't shown its paperclippy head just yet. But the turtle should be enough against this deck list, right? I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything AI.
No, I mean, negative. Gatekeeper's annoying, but I think apart from that, is strength 3 or 0. It's the only numbers that matter. So I'm wondering, from how the big unit was playing, I was expecting to see an Audacity score now. But, I mean, I could be wrong, or they drew a Vacheron. One of the two. There's nothing worse when you're playing sports and you've got your next turn lined up to score something with an Audacity, and then you top deck a Vacheron. And that's where I guess the lack of sprints is a bit of a hindrance. If you're unlucky and draw your Vacherons with your Audacities, kind of staring at your hand, hoping for a Spin Doctor, because otherwise you don't really have a way out of a handful of Audacities and Vacherons, as far as I can see.
Let's just see what's gonna happen here. The big unit definitely having a think here, because this is the thing exactly. Like you are running out of your outs slowly, and there are of course tools at your disposal to pull things off here. Whatnot. I mean, there's the biotics. There's the arc lockdown. Could that actually have any meaning in this particular matchup? Probably not.
I mean,
much.
If you discard a paperclip, but it's in the bin now, unless is there 2 arc lockdowns? No, it's just the one. So. You're also free to discard paperclip.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the install in server 1, it's not. Wondering what it could be. I mean, it can easily be checked. There's Miss Bones money to trash. No Mega Freeze left. Could be a Hyperloop, I guess. Big unit just wanting the free money, but. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna bravado the most money efficient way to check the remote. And it is the Tranquility home grid, so not only did this run make you, what, 3 credits? You get to trash the Tranquility grid for free. Yeah, this is interesting. Like, normally in this situation, with big unit on 3 points, you're looking okay, but from the way they've been playing their last turn, it feels like whatever they've got in hand is really not that good. And Rotom was credit perfect on breaking the drafter, of course. I'd expect nothing less. just an archives check, mainly for turtle value. So got a 3 strength turtle ready for next turn. And the big unit just clicking back up to 3 credits, discarding a card. It's gradually looking better and better for 419. I think if Rotom can find a turning wheel soon, there's only a 1 of in the list, but could start to cause some problems.
Okay, here we go with the penny shaver. So a bit of money for the running. And a jailbreak. So yeah, we're digging into R&D just to see what's in there. And that's a Hyperloop.
There's a Hyperloop,
okay.
that's... I think that's pretty good for the corp at this point, because unless you think the game is like going to go on long enough that the runner steals a veteran and it counts down,
Yep.
the runner basically is just looking for 2 pointers. Unless they get the other Hyperloop, I guess, and they'd be winning the very hard way, but...
Well, against Sports Metal, there's only one way of winning, and it is the hard way, given the current meta and what people have put together for different decks. It's quite interesting to see, by the way. I was just doing a quick background comparison in case we had like a reverse match here. The other 419 has some slight differences in the deck, and would be seeing a precision design, which would be quite interesting as well to see later on. Maybe we're going to see it on stream. But you could say that this is what I like. Like, basically, the plan is the same, more or less, for the 419 decks, for example. It's just there's those personal touches. Haha, I made a card reference. Where people get to express their own playstyle with, you know, removing 2 copies of this and adding 2 copies of that. Or just spreading their probabilities a bit differently for certain things to happen in the game. And this is really cool because you really can have your own playstyle, even playing the same ID like everything else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was interesting to see that in the big units 419 list, they were the only person I've seen for a long time playing Paragon over Anikam or Penny Shaver, but the reasoning kind of made sense to me. It's a very sports matchup focused reasoning, which is that as good as Penny Shaver is and as many runs as you make, you barely have time to clicks to spare to actually click the money off of it, and getting the guaranteed clickless credit from Paragon every run, and the scry when you've got a lot of card draw in the class act in your deck is almost more valuable. Can draw you into, if you need econ, it can draw you into your econ cards quicker that pay you out for making runs like Bravado and Laundry than Penny Shaver, where you have to spend a click at some point, at the very least, to click it.
Yep. We did get a reminder, a timely reminder from the chat. Thank you so much, Osklet, there, reminding us that yes, indeed, there is a black file, or should I say the black file card in the runner deck here. So that could get interesting against Sports Metal.
That is, thank you very much, Oscar, for pointing that out. I can't remember if that was in Rotom's deck in the Continentals or not, but yeah, that makes things very, very interesting. Boomerang just into a normal vanilla HQ run. No multi-access, just wanted to poke HQ. Big unit, so there's an Audacity. The big unit is also neatly still on 7 credits, so Biotic score seems pretty likely.
Yep.
So,
Vitruvius, there's the Biotic.
So you just take money, yep, and now you're threatening game with the Audacity in hand.
Yep.
So yeah, it's looking like Turning Wheel is almost, it's too late for Turning Wheel unless you also get Black File.
Time to play APOC, but you don't have it. But anyway, no, actually that wouldn't change much. You would have to play something, and we've seen some decks in the Crim side, but not only, using CBI Raid, I believe that was a card, to just shuffle things back. Oh no, sorry, apologies. That's a Cabonesa deck that's totally not being played on Intercontinentals. But it was written up by Crit Hit D20, and it had CBI Raid just to mess with the Corp's plans by running CBI Raid, putting all the cards from HQ back into R&D, and then just shuffling them away with Kyushuk, because you would be doing multi-axes and then the Corp would be shuffling. So
it's funny, especially
yeah.
Imagine the first time that happened to someone who didn't know
Yeah.
what was in the list. You
A
spend
very
all your
handy.
time carefully doing your CBI raid order, and then the runner just messes it up.
Yeah.
Oh, is the big unit drawn into
That's a good proof. That's it.
red level into the winning agenda?
The sports
Wow.
prevailing. But yeah, it's a tough game. 16 minutes, so that means we can probably still jump into another table, maybe
Yeah,
perhaps.
for sure.
We're gonna leave the players here to discuss their ins and outs, and they're gonna, of course, keep playing because whoever you see defeated today just loses a life. Until you have lives, you're in the game. So pick a table, folks. Should we go for soccer versus cable? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's try and see if we can hack into that remote. Oh, that's oh sorry.
Oh, that's over.
No, wait,
Oh wait,
that's
no.
no. Something went wrong with my situation here.
Yeah, me too. We
Dana.
both rejoined old.
Hmm.
It's very
Okay, let's
strange.
just reload the list.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some cookie crumbling here and there. Maybe there's, I don't know. There's a bug. Yeah, indeed. I mean, no. Okay, I keep joining the same game. Excusez-moi. May have to do
So
some
I've
magics.
made it. Refresh your Gentech, your browser window.
Oh, if I
Worked for
refresh
me.
that, we're gonna have explosions here.
Oh, okay.
No, don't worry, don't worry. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Yesterday, I had a very similar situation with things just not working properly. But we're in.
You,
Oof. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. Dun, dun, dun. Okay,
There's
here we have.
1 point on the board.
That's
So,
exciting.
And has an APOC happened? I don't know. I imagine an APOC must have happened for us to only have 1 point at the board, but then you look at the board state and the fact that there's nothing face down on the runner side, and almost wondering what has happened in this game. The 2 labor rates are gone, 3 spin doctors are gone, and the only thing on the board is a 15 minutes.
This is like a completely different story here. Like Cable Carnage, sorry, rebirthed into Reina Roja. The situation on the table is, well, I would say it's honest Netrunner, but then again, what is honest if you have like toll booths and data wards?
I refuse to believe that we're 20 minutes into a game and there's 1 point on the board and it's honest Netrunner, and someone's rebirthed into Reina, which, if I didn't know better and I didn't know Jinteki has undo click features, I would say is a misclick. So there must have been a point when making the corpse spend more to res this ice was very important. It kind of doesn't look like it right now, but I imagine that at the time it was crucial.
There must have been some really big plays here.
And I haven't looked through Cable Carnage's list, but I got distracted by seeing a buzzsaw in the bin, which I have not seen played very much at all. It's great art, but I haven't actually seen the card in play very much.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that you really have to do the math for and decide that it is actually good for you to use it, because it might get pricey in some cases, but it's very meta dependent. Like, is it actually good enough? It is a good breaker if the numbers are right. Here it's kind of brutal because the data words are 8 strength, so yeah.
That's the decoder. So it's whole booth you're looking at, but that's also pretty bad.
Why am I thinking about this is the problem with my head. Yeah, I was thinking about Cleaver because Buzzsaw, Cleaver and whatnot, they're all about
there's also a mimic in the bin. There's a fixed strength breaker thing going on here. But yeah, I mean, Cable Carnage has 1 card left in hand. The last labor rights is in the bin, and they just have the symbol chip, so I imagine the game is going to be clicking for a lot of credits and moving these Botuli around a bit to try to get in, but it's looking pretty rough for Cable Carnage, I think. Soccer's just making even more money. I to check the Acme list to see what the agenda suite is. Okay, so it's 3 send a message, 3 below, 1 QPM, 1 15 minutes. So there's not a huge amount of agendas around, but I am amazed that Soccer has clearly been hiding them very well for the last 25 minutes. And yet again, we see a triple advance, leaving a card on the table.
Here we go into a Thoth again, so that's going to be a tag on top of a tag.
So they have one real tag plus one fake Acme tag. Okay. Grade is gonna be a void. Presumably, yeah. So this is for soccer's sake, I would hope this is a Bellona. I don't think you care about resing even more ice with send a message at this point. You just need actual money to score your agendas.
Yep.
Yeah, this is pretty rough for Cable Carnage. I mean, all of this ice is disgusting. Apart from the innocent thimble rig on archives, which, assuming you're not throwing too many agendas away, is not going to be a big deal.
We had a hot take yesterday on the stream that ice is the worst possible card type you can have for the corp, and here you are saying that it's actually very bad for the runner. I am torn. I don't know what to think about it. Chat, please help us out. What do you think about ice cards? Are they any good in the current meta for standard? Does it even make sense to install ice?
I mean, I'm quite impressed. It clearly has here. I'm quite impressed. There's this much huge ice has been rezzed against a APOC deck, and yeah, I have no idea. I mean, you can scroll up in the chat log and see if an APOC happened at any point, but it doesn't look like it. Or if it did, Cable had nothing on the board because they've got no way of getting rid of face down runner cards. And now Soccer's pausing, which I'm going to assume that's not a Bellona. Interesting. Leaving for 2 turns, a triple advanced card. It's probably a QPM at this point. But I'm still, unless he had nothing to stick into server 2, I'm kind of surprised that it didn't get scored and you jam something else just because not a pleasant server. Ice HQ scores. It was a send. Oh wow, and resing the Hydra that was just installed. Oh no.
Hey Hydra. Hey.
As a wait, are there 3? The list is on 2 APOCs, right? Cable, or are they on 3? Cable Carnage. It's just 2 APOCs. Okay, so I've never wanted somebody to apocalypse someone more than I do right now. Yeah.
We're trying to be neutral here in our commentary, but I totally agree.
I'm very neutral.
I totally agree.
The numbers on this ice is just too big. These numbers are all way too big.
Yeah.
Absurd. But that ironically has slowed soccer down a bit because they don't have many real credits left. So I can see very much why they went for the stick and a Hydra on HQ and res it with send a message, because HQ is probably completely full of agendas now. And they didn't have any real credits to defend with, so had to do something. But now the last symbol chip has gone, so this remote is completely impenetrable. I can't see how you can possibly run through that when there's a void in there.
Yeah. One question remains. What is the card in Cable Carnage's hand?
That is true. At this point, I haven't played it. I'm guessing it's not super impactful. Somebody wants to work it out and write it in the chat.
There are no prizes for this, but you can try and figure out.
Okay, so that's probably game, I think. I don't see how you can't actually get enough accesses anywhere to win the game if that's a agenda in the remote.
Here, Botchula is doing a lot of work against that thimble rig, obviously. Riding on the thimble rig, going into HQ, and it's a quantum. That's a point. It's a consolation prize. You get a kitty.
It's a thimble rig with Hydra. I'm very confused as to where the thimble rig. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you've got a chance of finding the other two sender messages or a balloner.
IP block,
IP block.
no dice,
Yeah.
and that's it.
It's almost certainly GG. Yeah. Wow.
Double send a message for extra value. Send the message. I mean, who would have thought kind of a reprint, of course, of priority requisition is going to be that good here?
Yeah, for sure. Kudos to whoever first got the ideas of simple. I mean, it's been popping up in these, I think, in Ag Infusion, right, and Acme, all these decks that like to res huge ice. But yeah, I have to say this is, I think, probably the highest total res cost and strength quantity of ice I've seen on a board in a long time.
And it seems that we have run out of games to spectate for this second round of things. Let me just see if we have updated brackets ready and available. Yes, for your viewing pleasure. Let's jump in there and let's see who did what to whom and why. We've seen some of the games in full, some in chunks. But anyway, we have Sokka prevailing, TF34, the Big Unit 3000, and Django 84. So I think people with numbers are winning. Look at this. So my theory about things happening online and video gaming and whatever. I mean, this is not video gaming, but kind of is browser gaming. People who have numbers in their usernames, somehow, maybe they're better players or something, or maybe they just have more luck or whatever. But there's this tendency.
It's sticking very well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, we've got all three Continental champions won their game, right? Sokka, Big Unit, and Django.
Yep.
So people were requesting. Was it Manvarupt was saying very much match 16?
Yeah, I think
the Big Unit against Django must be the next choice.
Is gonna be it. In the meantime, the middle bracket is starting as well, and I'm just gonna remind you that this is why so many brackets and so on. The lower brackets is not starting just yet, and all the players are in the game. But we have people who have been losing lives as well, dropping into places. So we have 4 people on full lives, and they are the ones in the top bracket. And of course they have to face each other off, because that is the rule of the bracket. The other folks are fighting on their middle ground, so to speak. And we also have their choices or their assigned sides here in this particular round. We're going to be going into round 3. There will be up to, I think, 12 rounds? No, 11 rounds. The last round should probably be among the people still left standing. We'll see how this works, of course. It doesn't have to go up to 11 rounds. We'll see how it goes, but I don't know the math here. Much smarter people than myself have done this. Again, a reminder for everybody that the rules are available here if you want to dig into them. And there's this little cool link here. It also pops up on the chat. The deck lists are open if you haven't seen this yet. And if you're wondering what you're watching right now, it's the Intercontinental Championships 2021 on Nisei. Matt, what have we seen so far?
Oh god, we saw the Big Unit sports out against Rotom. Again, it looked like it was close, and then Sports did its thing. We just jumped in at the end of a game where Sokka 234 had rezzed an absurd amount of ice. There were Data Wards and Tolbus and Hydras all over the place in Acme against Cable Carnage, and Sokka won that game. And round 1, I have already... we saw the King playing against NB Kelly.
Yep.
And NB Kelly took that one. And that was a very interesting game, a very close game of APOC Max against Reality Plus. I believe it came down 7 points to 6.
Indeed,
it was
very, very
extremely good start to the day.
Yep, it was good times. Okay, just as a reminder, we're gonna have a few more rounds today. You are joining myself and Mr. Buggles for now, commentating. There will be other guests popping in. I'm actually checking in right now.
Just took a look. I believe someone's coming soon-ish, but
yeah. I mean, you're more than welcome to stay because we're always having fun here. We will have, so we will be joined by Phil at some point. And then we're going to be joined by, if everything works out, Anarcho Mushroom. And a special guest at the end of it, I guess. We'll see. It should work out just nicely, hopefully. I'm super happy that I only had one small issue so far with JNet. Fingers crossed. I'm touching all the, or knocking on all the wood here, just to make sure that things work out. should be going okay. Oof. But anyway, so how is everybody in the chat doing, by the way? Are you excited for this? Are you still confused about the bracket, which I'm of course gonna bring back onto the screen in its colorful glory of neon and outrun and all those vibes that you like because 80s happened? We had no scoops for you, I'm sorry, but I tried to, you know, in the meantime, while nobody was looking, I was kind of trying to bribe Matt here with me in the room just to give us some scoops, but there's just, you know, the linguistic scoops
have nothing to give. Yeah.
I mean, well, there will be things are happening. It's kind of hard to say anything about anything, which is okay. The bigger surprise is waiting for you later on.
Okay, the games are going up if you wanna.
Oh yeah,
jump
absolutely.
into. We're going for the big unit again versus Django, right?
Yep, that's gonna be it. I'm just
have to.
My table setup. Dun, 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 dun. Now let's see if I can hack into this. Of course, Hackerman skills and the big glasses. You cannot hack anything without big glasses. It's gonna be round 3, by the way, folks. The bracket looks hot. Of course it looks hot. It's the most outrun bracket we've seen ever. And here we are.
We're seeing the big unit sporting again against 419.
I mean, it's, so, you know...
We're watching a clash of the Titans. Who knows whether the decks will live up to that billing or whether...
Please don't confuse the stream, Matt, because there's no Titan here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, sports is the new Titan anyway, so that is definitely the joke I was making.
Of course, but as the PR representative of Wayland, I have to tell you that using the brand name of our esteemed banking corporation is absolutely forbidden, and we're sending people to deal with you right now. Please don't.
I'm sorry. Both players keeping their hands. Is that every game we've watched? The players have kept their hands.
I think so. I think they would just be saying, you know, hey, I know the cards. They will come at some point, so I'm just keeping this. Is keeping a hand, is not mulliganing, a part of a mind game? Do you think so?
I don't think so. No, I can't imagine what mind games you could possibly be playing at that point. Okay. I think you'd just be shooting yourself in the foot. I think you just keep what's good, and that's it. But I think it's ominous for 419 if sports keeps their hand.
Yeah.
Because if you're confident enough that diversion of funds isn't going to hurt you too much, or boomerang, or whatever the small amount of tricks 419 has, if you're opening with Tranquility or Rashida or something like that, then...
This 419 running 2 mutual favors and only 1 Amakwa, basically 1 of each breaker and 2 orbs of money. So slightly different distribution of probabilities here. We also have a Citadel Sanctuary, 2 Miss Bones, oh, sorry for that, and 2 Turning Wheels. Will they actually mean anything in this matchup? Probably not, we'll see. I mean, if you get them early and if you manage to build up the tokens, they could swing the game in the right moment, but for this you really have to get all the right cards at the right time.
And the breakers as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Break it. What's
unit's
that?
got a very good. It's got a very good start here. You've got a spin doctor that's drawn some cards. You played a red level. You played a hedge fund, the one of hedge fund in the list, and you played a lateral growth. And you got 3 ice on the board and 11 credits. That seems.
Yeah.
I don't think you can complain about that.
1 hedge fund is the new meta, by the way, people. If you want to streamline your decks of 49 cards, I remind you, 1 hedge fund is just enough. That's it.
Yes, another deck of questionable integrity as soon as you don't have 3 hedge funds.
But is it fair?
I mean, it's completely fair. It's kind of nice seeing somewhat diversified econ. It's just unfortunate that hedge fund's such a good card that if you're not playing it, your deck is normally doing something extremely unfair in one way or another. Okay, well, we've got a Bugalta, so the drafter's face check is not a threat anymore. So it's just Gatekeeper that you have to be worried about. And the diversion is going through. Corp is down to 3 credits, run up on 8.
So
I think the big unit probably would have put if they'd had any other ice that they could have put on HQ. I'm assuming they put an end the run on server 1 at the beginning, and they probably would have liked to have a end the run for HQ as well, but I'm guessing that they played with what they had.
Yeah. I was just going to make a terrible joke that, okay, you doofed Sports Metal, they're down to 3 credits, and they have no points, so basically it's match point for the Corp right now.
Yep, yeah.
Pretty much.
Popping the Spin Doctor. So I want it to install in that remote. Letting me expose, okay. And hiding the ice on HQ, which I'm betting there's vanillas on server 1 and HQ at this point. Well, I guess you could go. One of them will be a vanilla, I would think. You can afford to spend 3 to res a Magnet or a Gatekeeper if you're getting Rashida Fire.
Rashida is just the perfect card for so many corps out there because you want to go fast, and this is probably the fastest card on the corp side in a way. I know you have to install it, it has to survive, and so on and so forth, but then click list 3 credits and 3 cards at the start of your turn, perfect. Like what else would you the only good thing about Rashida is that it's a one-time card.
Yeah, and it can be trashed. It can be trashed for 1.
Yeah. So it is probably balanced.
Yeah. I think especially when it came out, Corps needed it probably more than anything. In a complete, if you were sort of starting Netrunner from scratch now, whether you'd print a card like Rashida or not, I don't know, but can't imagine. It would be a very different game if it didn't exist, I think.
Absolutely.
Django pressuring and assuming. Ooh, okay.
Here's the Keeper of Gates, who's also in the background, if you haven't noticed yet, of course. This is going to be the playmat for a lot of the people who have been participating. I love this art. It is awesome. I don't see... Well, there's a gate behind him. Okay, fair enough. But I just love the art. It's very in theme for HB. And it's a different take on this particular door knob we have.
Super nice.
Yeah.
And it's super nice having an HB ice. Although I love a lot of the Bioroid art, but it is all very... This is a similar color palette for good reason, but I love having this alt art with the kind of green-purple combo.
Yep. Loving me some green. In case anybody hasn't noticed, I like green. Mutual favor, here we go.
I'm going to assume, get through the vanilla.
Ooh.
This is pretty nice. So the Gatekeeper drew some cards, and then Rashida's going down, so big unit's got a full hand and no credits. That said, Django is also extremely poor, so there might be a bit of clicking for credits going on in the near future.
Here we go. Click the credit. Red level clearance for 1 credit, super extra mega value because why? Such a good card.
Ridiculous credit for red level, yeah. I mean, that's not the position you want. It's not what you want to be using red level clearance for. If it gets you into a lateral growth here, then that's pretty nice. Nope, still just clicking up.
Have a clutch play here for that money that you need, and with the turtle on the table and the bug halter, Django could be threatening Gadoof, but you need money to get through things. Still, I mean, you could just fire the drafter, but that's not optimal. Then you have to deal with
No.
Exactly.
But having the turtle, having forced the Gatekeeper res, it was very good play from Django, forcing the Gatekeeper res, running archives to play mutual favor to go trash the Rashida. And the Gatekeeper's impact was about as limited as it possibly can be when the Corp has no money.
Good old school Crim. Just force the Corp to spend money and then money up yourself and then go where you should when it matters. So we're still waiting for a score here, of course. But Sports Metal is just doing its thing. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I'm guessing no Mega Prees or Hyperloops have been drawn because I would assume they would have been sort of tantalizingly hung out there to try to get a steal just to get some clickless money for the Corp at this point, because pretty rough. I think Django's going to be pretty happy with how things have gone so far. Got 2 breakers down. Currently the only breakers they need. Got a bit of money ticking in. They've got the class act. think they'd just be really hoping for a dirty laundry or bravado, just to really burst up a bit in money and then start pressuring. I think the turning wheels, unless they're really buried, are definitely going to come into play because, like you said, it's turn 5 and the corp hasn't scored yet, which is pretty unheard of. Sports metal.
Audacity in the bin. Mm.
Wow. So presumably another one in hand.
Yeah, you can bin that you have 3 of, so yeah.
Yeah. And Janko agrees.
Wait a minute, but you just access archives. How can you make bold assumptions about my hand state?
Yes, nothing, no way of telling whatsoever. Don't even need open deck list for that one, I don't think.
Of course, the big
You're
unit
throwing
saying,
away
yep,
a card.
could be a ruse. It's a ruse. I don't think he has any audacities in hands. No, they
No.
don't have any. Oh, Hyperloop. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yep, that's good for the big units. Biotic's now online. We're going to see Biotic Luminal again.
Wouldn't be a bad play. There's a card going in there. That's a Vitruve. And Biotic Vitruvius, of course. Not a bad play either. 2 points on the corp side. So just keeping the runner in check. Just saying, yeah, you get points. I get points. We're all fine. An even out game so far. Like, fairly balanced. Until it's too late. But Django in a good state now. 11 credits. The Turtle quite happy on the 2 counters. So remote definitely locked. R&D definitely under control if need be. The question is, where are the multi-axis cards?
Yeah, that's all that's missing, right? I think. Because you don't need... Vanilla's the only barrier, right? So you don't need Paperclip at all in this matchup. And currently, unless there's a magnet somewhere, and even then, or Vitruvius.
That's good.
Yeah, who needs multi-axis? You just keep doing that.
Skills! Vitruvius is, I guess it's the agenda you're probably well, okay, barring scoring an early Vacheron, or sorry, stealing an early Vacheron, Vitruvius is the one that you're happy to see because it's 2 points.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. That and Luminal.
Yep.
Luminal you definitely obviously want to steal just because the effect is so absurdly strong for the corp, but yeah, you're never going to be sad to be stealing Vitruvius's.
Yep.
Vitruvii. Whatever.
Vitruviansis. I don't know. Plurals are just terrible. I mean, we probably need somebody. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying we need somebody who has the time and energy.
Exactly.
All the
plurals of all these words we're making up for this card game must be defined at all times.
Yeah. I do love me some fun with luminal transubstantiation. Excuse me, that's a mouthful already, but when I refer to it, it's just usually luminal, whatever. It's a luminal. Yes. Stick to that.
Yeah, these long card titles sometimes pose a problem for translation, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Some languages, some shrinking of the card text titles had to happen. But
we're just going to refer to this card as card number 68. The doof.
Boomerang into diversion of funds with the corp on 7. This is pretty nice. Doesn't matter what they res. It's kind of awkward if they want to keep 2 credits or go broke and res something that's just getting boomeranged anyway.
The doof
this is looking pretty good for Django. Really is just.
Ooh, that's a good res. This is value here now. That's something you definitely wanted to do. Oh, then again, boomerang, so you don't really.
This is. I'm always very interested. I never know when I'm getting boomerang doofed and it's a gatekeeper. It feels so horrible to just give up that face check. But then if you don't res, you either have to trash the ice or you're permanently giving up the face check anyway. So I can understand doing it, but it feels very, very bad. Because now you're just going to have yet another 0 strength ice hanging out. Just have the spin doctor popped with a click left. Interesting.
Yeah, Biotic and one unseen card.
Is there a political operative in the list? There must be. I can't imagine why you'd do that otherwise.
Checking right now just to make sure.
No, there's not.
Nope.
Interesting. Okay, no, I'm not sure. I should look at. Okay, the big unit didn't check the deck list, so they were thinking that there was a political operative, but
Well, this was
not.
a safe play, just to say, well, I'm honoring, I'm respecting this possible threat, but then yeah, it's not a mistake. And the thing is, you already have to remember your own list, and then your opponent's list does help you immensely
sure.
when you're playing. But still, it's just like, yeah, just playing around the usual suspects. Who knows? So this was absolutely a correct play in general. And
Yeah, for sure.
it was over safe, of course, but yeah. Okay, we have players discussing things here, and I assume they're not on audio if they're, or maybe they're just doing this for the benefit of the stream. Thank you so much.
I think they said earlier that they are both half awake and
Oh,
decided to text chat rather than voice chat.
so this is Dream Runner. Oh no, I shouldn't be yawning, by the way, because some of you might be watching this at different states of tiredness, and if I start yawning, even just for fun on stream, no, that's very contagious. Lateral
Bad
growth. Here we go. Much needed in this current situation. Vanilla.
Vanilla. So it's just with the runner on 18 seemed to be 20 credits.
Yeah.
It's a tax, but it's not much of a tax.
Yeah. More of a tap. Anyway.
Imagine Django. There we go. Okay.
So this could be the swing now. We know that the R&D defenses are very limited, and there's basically, like you said, attacks, but not much. And the runner can definitely just afford running repeatedly through this over and over again, making sure that the money's in the bank as well in the meantime. And this is where the turning wheel counters can actually start slowly, maybe perhaps amassing.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm actually about to say this, but I don't think, like, it's turn 8.
Mm-hmm.
And is it bad if the runner steals a Vacheron? The Corp, like, it's absurd that the Corp has only scored 1 agenda by turn 8.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they hit a Vacheron. I still think 4 turns Corp could score out, but this is a very, very slow draw for Sports Metal for sure. Like, I think you can see how slow it is by the fact that 419 is willingly installing a Rozeki on turn 8 against Sports. They're clearly thinking the game's going to go a fair few turns yet for that to pay out. Unit having a think. You don't know what's in hand, but this is not a nice spot for Sports to be in at all.
Mm-hmm.
4-0 strength ice.
Yeah.
Turn 9.
Yeah. Turn 9 and the board is against you. Your bank is against you.
Yeah.
Not much of a Titan now, because Titan. I'm telling you, when you mentioned that this is the clash of the Titans, I'm like, this is not Titans, this is Sports Metal. And then the people from Wayland were like, hey, we're actually withdrawing the credit line for Sports Metal. No more of that. Like, no money. This is the situation here. That's what happened. Not blaming anybody, but
I cursed it. Big unit just clicking for 3. It's unfortunate. There's nothing worse than your turn on 6 credits as Sports Metal, and knowing that you're not threatening the Biotic. Unless you can clicklessly gain a credit with red level, but that also feels pretty bad. You really want to save those to draw into your final agendas when you're going for the Audacity. And then,
here's the doof.
As soon as you click up above 5, this is what's going to happen.
The doof is on fire again. So yeah, we don't need no credits. Let my banking account burn. That's what's happening here right now. The turning wheel getting counters from this as well. So we're just getting into the territory slowly, where the 3 agenda points can soon become 5 and or 7, depending on, of course, lucky accesses, probabilistics. But Django definitely in the control of the board here. Not much that the big unit can do here. They can just draw into some potential fast advanced solutions. Audacity is, of course, still in play. We only see 1 in the bin. We had both players agree that there's probably an Audacity in hand. But that's about it. This is an uphill struggle right now for the Corp. The runner in a good spot with just a single Rozeki, but you don't need much more. Even
sure.
purging doesn't make any sense whatsoever here. Corp has very limited ways of messing with the Netrunners.
The only upside is the their versions are all gone, but I mean, there's still 2 bravados, which are going to make those R&D runs extremely nice for turning wheel tokens and making money as you do it.
Yep.
Prevented the expose. Still preventing the expose while being that poor as well. Very, very hard to get out from under 419 when you're in this position.
Yeah, the only good thing for the corp right now is that these were the 3 diversion of funds, no more coming up. Hopefully, maybe perhaps, unless some magics happen. And there's still enough fuel in R&D for the corp to do stuff. 25 cards remaining. Oh, here we go. There we go. The multi-axis engine rolling up a bit. Docklands Pass, a great card. I love the art. I love the theme. It's awesome. I love the nameless person in a cap in the background as well. Could be me if I had a cap.
Just conveniently looking the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. Probably for donuts. I mean, if I ever guard anything, and if you, oh no, ice cream. Sorry, you can totally bribe me with ice cream. I'm just saying, if anybody's listening, send me ice cream. Oh, okay, we're going for the 3 card.
3 card pick.
Mega Pre and another Mega. No, sorry, that's the first Mega Pre. Sorry, I just see double because of course. And Luminal. Oh, this is big. This is big.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. You're on game point.
Yeah. This is huge. I'm just wondering, I mean, did the big unit just draw into the Luminal recently? Because with an Audacity, you would be scoring this straight away, right? I
guess. I mean, maybe there's just even more agendas and they didn't want to chuck them in archives, but
yeah,
this is, yeah. I can't see an easy way out at this point.
Yeah, this Docklands Pass definitely worth it.
I mean, I say that. I've seen situations like this, and then the runner runs R&D and hits a Vacheron, and the corp makes money and draws cards, and then they do it again, and they hit another Vacheron. And then... but the odds are slim, for sure.
We're seeing Sports Metal on the edge here. The runner... with a firm grip on the game here right now, although only 3 credits, but there's definitely not much money needed if you have 6 points and a Rozeki taking away every start of turn for you. And the eyes you have on the board is not that intimidating at all. You just have to pay a bit. Maybe even sometimes you would consider getting that Gatekeeper. No, you probably wouldn't. The first subroutine Gatekeeper, nah, that's a bit too much. That's why it's still good at 0 strength. Like you definitely have to pay. You have to pay through it. So that
having 2 subs makes a big difference for sure.
Yeah, it does help. But yeah, just checking in with Discord if there's anything happening in there that I should be letting folks no, but no, we're just looking at the timers. There's still 18 minutes. No, excuse me, that's old news. I should be showing the timer just to make sure. The rounds are timed at 40 minutes each. Oh no, it is indeed saying 18 minutes left. There are some magics happening on Discord recently with timers that actually show time in real time without having to kind of refresh the commands and stuff. So, 18 minutes left in the round. One-sided, of course, games. But again, a reminder, people have lives here in this particular format, which I think it's pretty cool. I think I'm going to steal this format and run some events outside of Continental.
It's a lot of fun.
It's really cool. It's more video gamey in a way, like Angel Arena. That's kind of this glory run with your deck that you load up.
It must be really nice for the players too, I imagine, because you're playing the quality of a top cut, but you can lose 3 times, not twice. So you get a lot of games against good players.
Yeah.
And I think unless you're very unlucky or have a very bad day, you're probably going to get 4 or 5 games in a cut style format. So it's nice. Yep. It's just a bit of a grind for whoever wins. But so Django just so far ignoring the tranquility, just drawing cards, making money.
Yep.
I think, is there a Miss Bones in the list? There are 2. Okay.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna check out what's there. Upgrade. It is indeed a tranquility.
I think it was exposed. Rudely using the falsified money to then go trash the thing that
Yeah,
you
this is
exposed.
just bad. Evil
And
crim.
again, big units on 6 credits at the start of turn. It's so frustrating. I feel like you feel that 419 tax so much when you're playing sports, when every time you look at your credit totals and your credit short of Audacity or Biotic, it just hurts.
Yep.
Assuming agendas in HQ. I mean, they could have taken the route of just bouncing off R&D constantly, but instead going for an access. But it costs you 4 to run HQ, and installing a Rozeki on turn 12 against sports is almost unbelievable. Big unit, Biotics out and Mega Pre.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's 3 points. Still not
Really,
over this one.
No, you're really wishing it was a Hyperloop, I think.
Yeah, Hyperloop would definitely set you up a bit better here for the money.
Well, that being said, I mean, Sports is now on 4 points with an Audacity in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, yeah. It's going to be one of those games where somehow, despite all the odds...
That's what sports metal is all about. It's like, you think you got it, but they wanted more. They get it. Bravado. Okay. Going for extra money here, of course.
Just bounce.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's not bad. Gain 3 and get a 20 more tokens. It's pretty nice.
Fair deal.
Is he going in? It's not bouncing. Okay.
Trying to hunt down the last point. And here we go. That's a Vash.
Oh no, it's happening.
There it is. It's happening. Finally found the right thing, and foiled by the Hyperloop. Oh, but good game both.
For all Vacheron haters. It's just a.
What do you mean haters? It's a good. It's a very self-defensive but scary. Well, never mind. There will be probably a lot of books written about Vacheron in the future. You know, people in 200 years' time will be like, and then the ancients put this agenda in play. Well, anyway, for now we're of course not going to discuss this. Everybody has their own opinion.
No.
Did you know that on JNet your username actually pulls up bug? This is so cool. I skipped.
Yeah, I wish it didn't. Constantly reminded of that card that I've never seen anyone play anywhere. But
it's
yes,
a great card. Whenever the card draws a card, you may pay 2 to reveal. And I mean, yeah, pay money to reveal.
Yeah, pay 2.
Yeah, it takes 1 MU. Very good utility. Anyway, so yeah. Jumping out then of this game and taking a look if there's anything else on. If you don't mind, we're just gonna go for the King's game with the King and Cape of Carnage trying to get in there. Hopefully we're gonna hack into it without any problems. Oh, whoops, I'm of course mistyping all the passwords here. What do you mean not allowed? Did they change the password? Am I doing this wrong?
I can't tell you live on air what the password is.
No, just okay. I mean, chances are there. No, not allowed. Okay.
While you're doing that, do you want to? I can jump out now. We have our next commentator.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Ready and waiting.
Okay.
And I'll go give my voice a break. And good luck doing this for the rest of the day.
Thank you so much for joining me and for your lovely commentary, co-commentary. And yeah, do rest your voice. And
I'll be checking in on the stream.
Yeah, so, we're gonna drag you in later, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yep.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. And in the meantime, I'm just going to hop over to the screen, and I just need to make sure that I actually. Well, I mean, I don't have the password. Help! I'm gonna be introducing somebody, but before I introduce somebody new to the stream, it is a great chance, of course, to get this person in. But I will try. Okay, this is gonna be risky, people. If things explode, I'm so sorry. Whoops! This is of course not working as I expected. A bit of patience. You know, just because I'm a terrible person. Be patient, folks, and I'm going to make sure that things get dropped the right place and the right time, and we're going to try and hack into the last table that's still on, or maybe we're just going to give them a break and have a bit of a chat with my next guest. If I manage to get things up, let's just yeah, there we go. I managed to get it up. So I'm gonna welcome one of the spin doctors in the community. Spin Doctor, of course, because, first of all, responsible for his Spin Doctor alt art. Some of you may know it already. Second of all, I think you can actually raffle the spinnies off soon. And I'm going to introduce the one and only Phil, or Zero of Maxima, from the ShadowNet ANR Netrunner podcast. So that's why I'm saying Spin Doctor, because they spin a lot of Doctor in there. Hello there!
Hey, thank you so much for the introduction.
Well, no worries.
Not an actual doctor. Please don't take medical advice from me.
I mean, doctor, I need to... Well, no, sorry, I just been doofed. What do I do? No, well, anyway.
Yeah, no, I'll just shuffle a couple cards back in. You'll feel fine in the morning, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that should work, right? I'm trying to figure out why I'm not possible. I'm always I'm impossible person. Why it's not possible for me to get into that last game, and I'm failing. But let's just.
I've switched browsers and it's let me in.
Really?
I don't know if that's something you can do. Yeah, it was wild. Jeez. Usually, a little refresh might help here and there.
You are.
I can give people the lowdown though. The cable carnage looks to me rebirthing into a Quetzal.
Again? Oh no, Quetzal, sorry. That was Rainer.
Mimic on the board.
Yeah.
Buzzsaw and Clot against the King's Sports Medal.
We're
looking at 2 points on the runner's side and 4 points on the Corp. Yeah, the Corp threatening a score out here from a remote, but it looks like Quetzal might just get in. Did you hop in here? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I managed to hack into it. I guess refresh is the name of the game, and I think with a tournament this long, refreshing will be the key. Oh, we have a steel Mega Pre. Not a
Mega Pre. Actually, well, I don't know. It's actually good for the King. It gives him the opportunity to get 2 points on the board instead of 1.
Yep.
So very aggressive running here from the Quetzal. Ooh. Possibly just enough money here with the Buzzsaw to break through. Oh no, everything's gonna fire. Gonna give some gas to the King. We've seen an Audacity in hand when Cable Carnage poked HQ. So I could see a big score going out, but that's getting to be a big hand. We'll see if Brandon shuffles something else in. Ends their turn. We'll see. I think we could get to game point really quick here.
Yep. The King going for the draw with 8 credits in the bank, so that's very good.
More than enough.
Yeah. And in the chat we had people saying the remote looks really cool for a Buzzsaw, but this R&D didn't look so good. But I think this was the bet that Cable Carnage did putting this list together. It's okay, there's gonna be Gatekeeper, so I can face check once, and then it's just gonna be silly to break for 1 credit. So in the end, it's gonna be cheaper in the long run. But
absolutely, the King's gonna have to get a purge out though.
Yeah,
that Clot still is on the board, so that's a little bit vexing, especially with 2 overhand size. So I think that's what's causing the big thunk here. To purge now, or put some stuff on the table. Hopefully slow down Quetzal. Obviously, they're running out of gas. There's nothing left in the stack. It could be quite pivotal here, because we only see 2 3-2s. Oh, okay. A red level. Gain a click and install, possibly. Everyone's just flooding into this game. Yeah, there we go. An install. So is this a bait? If so, it's not great. It's incredibly cheap for the Buzzsaw to get in there, right?
Yeah, this is.
And then a purge as well.
Okay.
So I'm not sure on the King's list. Our list's open. I
Yeah,
I
they're
woke
open.
up not too long ago.
No, no worries, no worries. I'm gonna send you the sheet right now. You can
Oh,
browse
fantastic.
and peruse. I'm gonna drop it into the comms channel so we have it there. And then yeah, this is looking still
Well,
balanced, but I don't know. The
it
king
could
has the
go
upper
either
hand.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the clot's back. The clot's back. So that's not great for a fast advance plan like we usually see out of sports metal, but it really depends what Brandon the King slapped down here last turn. Is it a big agenda? He could just sneak out.
Yeah, the trick here is there's not much to purge with other than just the 3 clicks for the corp here, so you do have to respect the clot.
Mm-hmm. Getting those cards out of hand with the red level, not a bad plan. Just means you don't have to discard them. But you do miss out on, a little bit of that flexibility the red level could give you on a turn you want to score.
Yep. And in the meantime, while they figure things out, how have you been over the Intercontinental period, more or less? Have you had the time to actually rest between all that Netrunner action? Or were you following it super closely and participating yourself?
Oh, I participated a little bit. I went to Australia.
Okay, how
I
was it?
guess the Asia Pacific region. It was fantastic. I had a great time. My strategy, of course, was to play as little as possible, offer the 2-for-1s to all my opponents so I could nap between rounds, you see. Just keep that mental energy up because it started quite late here. But yeah, I always have a ton of fun playing Netrunner, either in person or over JNet. Oh, the clot lock establishing itself firmly here with the clot on the table, 2 simul chips.
Yeah,
This
gonna
is
be
going to
hard.
be a tough one to break through. The good news, though, is that all 3 labor rights are out of the game at this point. So, three purges, and the king might be able to actually move on his game plan.
And that's the question. What do you do here? You just wait for your cards to go in with mandatories and keep purging to force the simul chips? Or do you actually try to install and score, which would be a bit dangerous here because of the buzzsaw? Okay, here we go. That was the first purge. I think we have an answer.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just going to give Quetzal a few turns just to get in there, cause some trouble, hopefully steal some good agendas. So they're going to be poking, I think, as much as possible, trying to win off those single accesses. But even with how cheap the Buzzsaw is, they're going to be running out of money here. They don't have any more cards. They don't have any more fuel. Suspect that last card in grip might be a last overclock. I'm only... Oh, no, I see all 3 in the bin here. So I don't know what that last surprise could be.
Nothing interesting in the bin. Well, maybe a drafter for good
Was
measure.
this an Epoch? No, that was not. Just checking.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Oh, it was a Spin Doctor. Interesting time to be drawing up on Brandon's part. He's maybe seeing the opportunity here with Cable Carnage at only 2 credits to, I don't know, slap some sort of ice up on there. I don't know what he could be using right now.
Yeah, the thing is,
And I guess we could figure it out because we have access to deck lists. So
yeah, we could do all the 4-level chess in our heads, but just as a quick shortcut, 2 credits is just enough to get into the remote because both code gates are 2, well, actually 2 and 1 subroutines, and you can just get in there because the buzzsaw has 3 strength built in, so you're fine. Good.
whenever you want.
Yeah.
So Brandon's ice list: 3 drafters, 3 gatekeepers, 2 magnets, 3 vanillas. You could put a drafter on there, but they're still gonna get in. It's not gonna stop the runner.
Yep.
So yeah, thinking here. What did we spin Doctor back?
Let's take a look. We have 12
Doesn't
cards
tell
in
us, huh?
archives. Yeah, no. For now, it should have been, yeah. For some reason, we don't have this information. Weird.
Well, that's all right. It's all right. You want to think here? What's going to happen
There we go.
eventually?
2 drafters.
They have to get rid. They have to get rid of the clot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They were thinking about what to put back in. The drafter's excellent, of course, because the MK will cost 2 to install and 3 to break, which is significantly more than they're taxing from the buzzsaw at this moment.
Mm-hmm. We have people in the chat wondering, where's the second Epoch? Is this the last card in hand? Looks like it at a quick glance. The heap
Yeah.
holds 1, yeah. So this is an Epoch. The thing with Epoch is you do need a bit of money to pull it off. So Cable Carnage with 2 credits and not much econ going for it.
They could click up for, 2 turns just to get that APOC money.
Yeah.
It would give Brandon the chance to ice up with a drafter, which is, if you're APOCing through it anyways, not the end of the world. However, APOC only has so much utility in the matchup because, sure, get rid of the ice, but they're still going to fast advance up. You're losing your clot threat.
Absolutely. I guess the plan could be here, keep the corp honest. Oh, there we go. Red level clearance and the purge. Okay.
Purge. Immediately popping it. We've seen the arc lockdown in hand. They can't risk it getting arc lockdown and not getting that last value out of it.
Yep.
So, 2 more turns for Quetzal here. Before the sports start popping off. The second vanilla, I guess there's 3 vanillas in the list, but putting a second one on R&D would actually lock Quetzal out. They can only break the 1 barrier subroutine per turn. So maybe going for something like that. Expensive install on top of that Tower of Power on R&D. All right, new card in the remote here. Maybe sneaking out a point. We'll see. Hyperloop, I think, would be nice just to score that out, get some money back, just be prepped to score that last turn.
Yeah, it totally gives you what you need here to keep pushing. And if the runner somehow gets
just going for the purge.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's it. No more clot then. Time for the APOC plan. So Cable Carnage now has to shift the focus. Yeah. Where we have to wipe the board as soon as you can.
So they'll need 3 credits to break ice. They'll need 3 credits to play the APOC. This is gonna have to be a turn of clicking for credits if they do want to pull it off. But again, the value in it is not. It's not great.
Yeah, it just makes things a bit easier in the longer run, but the problem is you will not probably get a longer run. There we go.
Exactly. The game's winding down. We're suspecting a lot of agenda points in HQ at this point. It's been a lot of mandatory draws. We haven't scored out in a while. Chucking the arc lockdown. Okay. Credit perfect on this run here. Doing all 3 runs. Won't have enough money for a puck, but hopefully they nab a good agenda.
Yeah, this is just a warm-up.
Absolutely. What do you think of the sports medal list? I was suspecting a shift over to Ansel from the drafter. It proved to be quite well in the Americas Continentals.
I think,
or Rashida here.
Oh,
we've seen a biotic.
That's big.
More than enough money to score out a little 2-pointer, get some money, finish off strong with an Audacity next turn.
Exactly. There's still plenty of good options here for the king. And I'm looking at the list here. Yeah, I think Drafter has this. I mean, Ansel is a really cool card. It is a bit expensive, but then again, I don't know. I guess the whole idea here is just go fast, and maybe Drafter was just, okay, well, it does things. It has the functionality. If you face check it, it is painful enough, I guess. Not as painful as Ansel, but still. Really, I think it's a really...
For half the cost.
Yeah. Meta-dependent call, and I guess the king here is just going for speed. There's really no other... Well, there's a 2-arc lockdowns, okay, but that's the only kind of aggression against the runner you have here. Anything else is just about being faster.
Yeah. So the king here, maybe doing a little think, but so many cards in hand. He's a visually impaired player, so he's got someone else telling him what's on the board, what's in hand. So sometimes it takes a little longer just to go through those cards in hands, just so he's sure on what the board state is before making a move.
Yep.
There
And
you
we
go,
do have
2-point Mega
also...
Pre.
There was, in general, they seem to have had some technical issues on the table with JNet, so there's a bit of a time extension. There's still plenty of time, especially with the Corp on 6 points. Now threatening to win next turn, basically.
Absolutely. Unless Quetzal can get all the scoreable agendas out of HQ this turn. It's not looking good. Oh, he wanted to play a card on the last click. This happens all the time. I oracle myself for Brandon from time to time. I wouldn't say I'm a competitive tier oracle, because I do like to argue with him on choices, which I don't think is appropriate for a tournament of this caliber. But yeah, sometimes, you know, you're just going on autopilot. You're making moves.
Yeah.
And he says, "What are you doing? That's not how you play this game." So you learn a lot. You learn a lot. Okay, here, getting red level clearance out of hand just for free credit before scoring out.
Changes things slightly, 5 credits and 6 cards in HQ, and this is basically it. I mean, with 3 audacities, and we haven't seen a single one used just yet, then that has to be it. Cable Carnage now facing the music, just enough money to get in here.
Again, yeah, five cards. Ooh. They're gonna have to find an agenda in there.
Yeah.
Not drawing on that score tells me that there's probably at least one agenda that's scoreable in there. A biotic. Ooh, ran out of time for Cable Carnage. No more resources to get in.
Yeah,
we're gonna see that last agenda get slammed down here.
Unless there's no agendas in hand.
Unless there's no agendas, yeah.
Oh, here we go. That's an install.
Oh, smelling like an agenda.
Audacity.
There we go.
That's audacious, but here we go. That's game, the loop for the win for the king. Good game indeed, and that concludes this round. I believe this was probably the last game of the round. I don't see anybody else playing. Cool. So this is what we've seen this round, and with that out of the way, we can get back to the biz. So do tell us about the Spin Doctor, because we're raffling it right now. Why did you choose this card, and how long did it take you? Like, tell us about the process, if you don't mind, of course. I mean, we can of course change the
process is, look, I'm not an artist by trade. The process is me trying different things, failing, trying different things again, failing, repeat, for a couple of months until I'm like, could see myself playing with this. It looks all right. And then, eventually ship that out, and there we go. That's what I made. I hope everyone likes it. This one's a bit more image bashy than I usually go with, but I did a little flair there. It looks all right.
It looks good. It looks very virtual, and I have to ask the question, right? I mean, is the hand yours? That's the question.
The hand is not mine. No, the hand is from a stock image that I carefully cut out. It's all... None of this is photography, trust me.
It looks fairly virtual.
Wow, cool. Not my photography, at least. Yeah. No, I like it. There wasn't really any other Spin Doctor alts out there available, and not that it's a mandatory 3 of in every deck, but hey, it's pretty good. It goes in most decks.
It does the trick indeed. Okay, and having seen let's get out of the art world for a bit, but this looks really cool, and I definitely like the template you used, because it's just different, and it does give you information in a very clear way. You're like, okay, I know how much this costs, I know the name, everything is there. It's very visually appealing, and you just go, yeah, okay, I know what this card does. Very, very simple to read, which is great.
Yeah, again, it may be a thing I should revise, but every time I make art, I'm like, oh, I should make a new frame for this. Doesn't it deserve it? And then spend probably as much time on the card frame as I do on the actual art. So, yeah, I'm
Yep.
glad it works out.
Yep. Thank you so much for donating these for the raffle. And we have some new tables popping up. So I'm just going to transition
Let's
into
join one.
this. Yeah, into this bracket put together by the magicians behind Bracket Magic. We do have match 26 already lined up. Sokka versus Django. They might be taking a bit of a break. I guess we're right now. Oh no, should we be joining this or should we be joining any of the other matches? That is the question. What are people eager to see, or what would you go for if you could choose?
If you're asking me,
Yeah,
I'm a big Sokka fan. But I feel like we'll be seeing a lot of him today. So I'm open to anyone else here.
Yeah, let's maybe take a look at somebody fighting for their survival. I know that's a bit brutal. It's a bit of a Shark Tank approach, but we have 4 players at this stage.
Motion Blur and B. Kelly, both on 1 life.
Yeah, I think this is going to be
struggling to keep. Oh, let's go.
I mean, excuse me, I totally jumped the bracket. I think Motion Blur versus Kelly and B. Kelly, if they're both okay with being streamed, I'm just gonna ask. Just to make sure that, that if they feel that there's a lot of tension, which there might be, who knows? I mean, different people have different approaches and whatnot to this tournament, but just to make sure that they're both okay with it, kindly. And we have 1 thumb up, maybe 2 thumbs up, and if not, there's plenty of good tables. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll find something good.
So we're there, we're jumping into that table. This is basically the first time we see somebody at the edge of being out of the tournament because they're down to 1 life only. This is where the real thing starts. And we have 419 versus Reality Plus.
And we're getting called out for our streaming practices.
Sorry.
Well, no.
It's on me. Sorry. What else? Should I be drinking coffee on stream? I should be saying coffee a lot. Coffee, caffeine.
Just,
Power drinks.
Yeah, like
this is healthy water. And sorry for.
Have we seen?
Yeah.
Have we seen Reality Plus yet today?
Yeah, I think we were watching NB Kelly in one of the previous rounds. And this 419 is a build that I assume is also not groundbreaking in any way whatsoever, in a way, but I'm curious to see how they match up. That's going to be the interesting part.
Just taking a look here at the Reality Plus, it looks like a bit of your average, what do they call it, tightrope?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just going to try to squeeze the runner, try to get some tags in. And once they're all tagged, give them a bad time with some exchange of informations.
Yep.
Just grab that Bologna back for free. Thank you.
Oh, I do take it back. We do have embezzles here. That's going to be interesting. Embezzle is always a fun card to see played. But, well, time will show if 419 will actually get to do it. Because this Reality Plus is just straight up into installing stuff, leaving 4 credits on the table. And yeah, let's see if the Dirty Laundry brings some happiness. No, that's a Rashida. Rough.
Right. The NBN might have a hard time here. Because obviously 419 gonna have a lot of money. I'm not seeing any Citadel Sanctuary in the list though. So they've got that going for them. Mm-hmm. There is a no one home they'll have to watch out for, which would reset the strength of any trace trying to land a tag. That's gonna be tough to get through. So hopefully they get money.
Yeah, just to review one of the previous games we've seen this Reality Plus on, the Public Trail did make the game for the core one time at the very least, giving the tag that was used for exchange of information and put the core on 6 points, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we're in the middle of the day here, so there's still a lot of energy on at least on the commentator side. But if any of us now or in the future starts making mistakes or saying something that hasn't happened, chat, apologies, and do feel free to call us out on it, because it's good. This is a lot of Netrunner, and a lot of decks are similar but not the same, and things can, start getting blurred in our heads.
Well, this is why you're cycling people in, right? This is just some
Yeah.
fresh eyes to keep it going. A
Yeah.
great start here from 419, getting a ton of draw off those Earthrise and the Class Act
Yeah.
with that steady Rozeki drip. Going to be set up wonderfully going forward. We'll see what the NBN's cooking up here. Are they going to try to sneak out an early agenda there, or just setting up for future success as well?
Yeah, there's one
Ooh,
Bologna
going
on this
aggressive.
list. Yeah, the single Bologna is an interesting include, but it does make sense because you want to drag the runner as much as possible through all your painful taggy servers.
Just moneying it up. We see one of the fun houses, not yet installed. Good card for this matchup, I think. That steady drip of tags really blocking off a server at some point because they can't afford to take those tags, shake them off, and get other things done in the turn without any tech to get rid of those tags, like a Citadel Sanctuary.
Yeah.
NB Kelly, what are the upgrades in this list that are threatening? Do we see an Amaze?
There's an Amaze. We haven't seen it resed before, but it does exist. There we go. It's there.
Oh, all right. One Amaze, two Price X. Good cards for, shooting tags onto the runner.
Yep. Definitely good value there for the core for 1 credit. That's really cool. With the keyword persistent. It means it's gonna happen whenever. Snare. Oh,
wow! On the last click. Ooh,
that's big, and
I
no one
don't
home
think
landing.
That turning wheel's not long for this world, I think.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Trashing it will leave NB Kelly with not a lot of credits to their name. There we go. It's done with. Yeah. 4 credits, maybe enough to res a bit of ice, but 419 doing all right. They're just going to have to win off those single accesses. That's all. No big deal.
I think there's still a second copy of the turning wheel, but yeah, you do have to find it, and there's still quite a few cards floating in there. The only good news in this whole situation for Motion Blur is that it was just 1 tag, and you do have the Rozeki drip, so you can easily afford a single tag removal start of turn, no problem whatsoever. Now
Absolutely.
NB Kelly going to 4 credits, which is not ideal. This is not your sports metal. The only good news for NB Kelly is, well, every tag can be converted. Sorry, the first time each turn, of course, but it can be converted into 2 credits, so that's always good. Spin, though, for 2 extra cards and drawing more. Okay, we're looking for something.
I think just looking to get set up here. That Boomerang on HQ, not necessarily preventing the res, but they know that if they res that, that's all their money. They won't be able to defend anything else. They won't be able to fire the Prysec. The runner can clear out that remote so easily if they go low credits. Oh, just putting on that pressure even more with the Penny Shaver. Gonna ensure that constant drip of available credits.
Well, good to see that. You do have enough money to pay through it, so it's another reassuring piece of information. Like, okay, I'm ready for this if it happens. And Embezzle, we're trying to get rid of it. Probably.
Gonna try to trash them a little bit early, especially with that Spin Doctor face up.
Yeah, Public Trail out. And a ping in there, which is a tag as well, but only once.
Yes. And of course, building that value with the Penny Shaver. Okay, this remote getting full. But just still clicking for credits.
Yep.
No big money cards showing up on the corpse side, which I think is making it tough. Okay. Let's see if we see a res here, because those credits are going away anyways.
Yep, here's a Mausolus.
There we go.
That's decent. I mean, it's just to get some value out of the money you still have, which is actually giving the runner more Amaze amusement. Okay, just to pre-res and go down to 0 here. Oh, sorry, to 2, which is okay. But Motion Blur on 22 credits, completely not worried about the money. The only thing you would worry about, it's just the breakers. Like, where are the breakers?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see if they try to contest this remote with possibly an agenda in it. They will end up with a tag because of that amaze. But how are they going to get punished? Like, the NB Kelly has no money. There's nothing to exchange. Um, I think it is very tempting at this point to go check that server. One, no, just going to pop into R&D.
Yep. Rashida,
Crashing
always
the
a good
Rashida,
crash.
excellent. Yeah.
Another
Oh,
one.
there's another one. Yeah.
So now we know that Rashida is basically, there are three sisters, three twins, well, triplets, sorry. So there's three Rashida Jahims in the game. Yeah, that must be the family thing.
How
They
it
just keep
works.
popping up.
Bouncing right back with the click and a hedge fund. So 9 credits probably feels good. Yeah, pales in comparison to 419's income right now. Commanding credit lead with the 21, the double drip every turn, the very stable penny shaver income. As you said, just digging for those breakers right now. Once he's set up, it's going to be hard to stop him.
And still,
Okay, just going to go
two
for a
dudes.
remote clear.
Yeah, here we go.
Ooh.
Another Mausolus. That is interesting now. It will fire.
Yep.
Not too
But
bad.
that's fine. Saving himself the tags for later, which is a good move on the whole, right? Because you don't want to be forced to decide between, do I steal this agenda and have to take the tags? Just a bit of a preemptive move. Oh, there we go. Turning on the heat, daring the runner to come get this daily quest. Through the Mausolus. Not super punishing typically, but that one tag with R+, just gives them so much value, so much flexibility with either the money or the card draw. Makes that proposition all the tougher. Okay, I'm gonna double ice it anyways.
Yeah, just to make sure that the value is gonna be there a bit longer. Motion blur
the runner just digging.
Yeah, you want to find your code gate breaker, obviously, sooner or later. And the court getting a bit better on the money side, but there's still, what, 2 doofs left here in the game. So they're going to come at some point for sure.
Spin Doctor just getting that extra draw there. I think they're going to look to turtle up a little bit. Prysec, I assume, going down on HQ. I'm just going to discourage that little poking there. Although won't do much to stop a doof.
The Motion Blur definitely in control of the situation right now, at least on the money front, but still looking for solutions. There's a boomerang. We're probably going to be doofing again. Oh no, here we go. That's
and
actually
an inside job as well. Excellent.
Yeah. We do want that money off the table for the court.
Absolutely.
IP block resed just in case of a turtle appearing at some point. The muzzle is getting boomeranged and we're in. That goes away. The runner making a bit of money to offset the trash cost. And we're at 18 credits comfortably, drawing into more cards. Still 13 cards in the stack. Loads of time, loads of potential options on the table here.
Big payday on the penny shaver. But yeah, the corp's just going to keep jamming in that agenda. They know that the breakers aren't out. 419 only has so many little tricks like that they can pull off to get in here before they actually need their full suite of breakers.
Yep.
So keeping on digging. And with that class act, we'd expect them to be able to find their breakers sooner than later, but I don't think they're having much luck.
Yeah,
wow, look at this.
What's going on here?
Look at this. Slamming down more money. Let's see what gets discarded. I'm very curious. Another Rashida, just going to propel that corp. We're going to be seeing quite a few agendas prop up into HQ here. That red spin doctor kind of buffering against that risk. So I feel like we might see an attack on the spin doctor or a check on archives next turn.
Yeah,
archives might be the preferable one.
Absolutely.
Just for getting that extra penny shaver value. But yeah, just keep on jamming.
We have 12 cards in the archives, 15 in R&D, and the rest is all over the place, but the agendas have not popped up at all. 0 points on both sides, so they have to be somewhere in. And HQ is a very good bet. They're probably just piling up there. So it's time to keep jamming and hoping that the runner cannot get in, or maybe they get in and they don't do too much damage.
Absolutely. Icing up that remote. So possibly a cheeky little agenda here. We'll see if we get a little advancement at the end of the turn. Nope. Deuces, wow, just the extra draw on there.
Yeah, still digging.
Is he gonna find what he's looking for? I don't know. Seems unlikely at this point.
Reminds me of a popular song from the 90s, but yeah, still haven't found what they're looking for. IP block, we're going for it.
Have you ever gone to a tournament in person and, made your deck up and then realized, oh, I forgot a decoder or I forgot a critical piece of my deck?
I would say this has never happened on the list side because thanks to the lovely people who made Netrunner DB, my decks are always legal on the digital side of the paper. But when I put the cards together, things have happened when I was like, oh, wait a second, I don't have any copies of with me, even though it's in the deck list. So I did have to borrow every now and then few cards from people, and people have been absolutely super cool and have given me their copies of temporarily, but still. And yeah, saved my bacon. Even though I didn't play as well or anything, I could just actually play and just, berate myself for being a silly fool and not bringing the cards in person.
Glad it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good thing about JNet. Whatever you do, if you paste in the right list, you're fine.
Yeah. So surely they're in there.
Yeah,
just popping down that Earthrise just to get that extra draw as well.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so they're gonna
8 cards
pop
in the
up
stack.
Eventually.
What's going on here?
Surely those are all cards that have been class acted back to the bottom, but
yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, server one looking scory in a way. Single advance card in there and 3 pieces of.
You see the click for credits though.
Yeah.
Which tells me, look, they can't be dropping too many credits because it's gonna hurt if they can't res their ice, if they can't punish.
Yep.
The single advancement. To me.
Yep.
Possibly the new 3-2 from Jinteki. Or sorry, from NBN, tomorrow's headline. Just prepping it with the 1 token there so they can score it and have a click to do something with the tag it gives. Oh, we're going in.
Yeah. This is an inside job, which is good stuff. The IP block you can pay through, no worries whatsoever.
No, 419's got that link. There's no problem.
Yep.
Boomerang gonna give the corporate credit. Let's see what this is.
It's a QBM. Okay. Just a kitty.
Yeah, just a little one. So yeah, they were just baiting them there.
Yep.
Surprised. Maybe a ping at the top, but maybe they would have jacked out if it was a ping. Yep. They would have smelled the trap. Who knows? So 1 agenda point on the board here. R&D still under half. Archives has been checked, so yeah, where's all the agendas?
Maybe Kelly forgot them in the deck box, but there's no deck box. There we go. Price trash for free.
Crashing and price fantastic, yeah.
Good one.
Down to 10 credits, popping back up to 22 with a single click of the penny shaver.
And in the meantime, people in the chat sharing their stories of card mishaps in Meat Space. And yeah, this is there. Everybody has at least one of those, I guess, which is good. I mean, it's. I think this is one of the tests of the community as well, where people just say, "Hey, oh, you forgot cards. Hey, here you go. This is, these are my copies because I brought all my collection with me anyway." And it's like, oh wow, it's so kind. So yeah, people have been absolutely instrumental to helping other people and making sure that everybody gets to play, which is what we all love doing. Are you by any chance? I'm going to just ask a very quick question. Are you by any chance participating in the OTG?
The OTG? No. So I'm in Canada. That's down in the States, and yeah, just not doing the international traveling right now. I was hoping to clear up a little bit and I'd be able to go. Ooh, second turning wheel. So this is going to be great. A lot of value for the runner to just go check R&D, build some counters, see what's going on. They don't seem too worried about this 1 advancement card. Again, it could be that tomorrow's headline. Just prepping for a single little tag.
And we're in.
Don't even need breakers. Why even worry about it? Oh, there it was hiding. Just got it. They're going to have to deal with this tag, though. 0 clicks left, as they say. Run last
So
click.
what do you trash here first?
Oh, so this
anything.
is... Yeah, the turning wheel, for sure.
Yep.
Market forces, why not? $3.
Yep.
And just going to advance that card again. Is that a slow advance Bologna?
Could
Probably
be.
not. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
I feel like in this list, you try not to score out the Bologna. You
Yep.
try to make the runner do all the work for you.
Finally, another breaker Unity hitting the table.
Yeah, I saw Paperclip hit
Yep.
the bin there.
Yep.
So I think that's definitely available.
Ready to go on the runner side then. The Corp has a bit of a glaciery thing going to it, but yeah, with 18 credits on the runner side and the Turazekis and the Penny Shaver for good measure, it will be a bit harder for the Corp to tax the runner out in a meaningful way, but we're not maybe in the taxing game here much. Although Mausolus, number 3 on the table right now, and this is a good remote. This is going to cost the Corp, the runner a bit. The Unity has to be pumped several times for it. So that's good. That's a decent tax. The IP block is still something you have to trace through, unless you have the paperclip in the bin, which you do, and then you go in a bit cheaper, and then Mausolus again, and now stronger with the paperclip. We're going to see that card. That's a GFI, so that's 5 points and 0 on the corpse side. That's a big one.
Yeah. So tempting here. Like, they're down credits. We could pile on the tags, but there's nothing to exchange.
Yeah, that's a problem.
NB Kelly in a real tough spot here because, yeah, game point on the runner side. Yes, they don't have money now, but you can't immediately punish them for that. Like, they just have to click for credits. They just gotta wait it out, look until there's something advanced in that remote, and go get it.
Yep.
Not a lot of tricks that NB Kelly can push at this time. Was the snare shuffled back in with the Spin Doctor? That could be fun.
We have folks in the chat. No, the snare is still in the bin. Yeah, we have folks asking for possible punishment for the run here. Do we have hard-hitting news? No, we don't. There's just the 2 public trails and the exchange of information for aggression in a way, for the tags. So it's a very mild list in a way.
Yeah. Now, very closer to what I would like to call fair Netrunner, but some might disagree with that. No, this just looks like a very playable list, but not a great matchup for a runner that has as much money as 419. So yeah, they'll just keep jamming, hoping to get something out there, but you know, even every time they do that, they're going down on credits, preventing the expose.
Okay.
Yeah,
so.
I think the card that I most embarrassingly forgot to include once was all the agendas except government takeover. So that was an exciting game when I got that stolen on the first turn. And then just held on for so many more turns until I was like, no, this is not possible. Something is wrong with my deck. No, my luck cannot possibly be this good.
Hacks, yeah.
And lo and behold, it was the only agenda in the deck, which, yeah, good, solid build out of Builder Nations.
Might as well. I mean, if it's a government takeover, you don't need anything else. You just took over a government. So what do you know? What else do you need?
Well, I didn't. The runner kind of stole that plan from me, but
oh, here we go. That's
okay.
We're swapping. Okay. We're back in the game. NB Kelly going for the plan. The EOI happening. So leveling out a bit the situation, and you can always click the 15 minutes just to make it fair and square. 3 points each.
Back to 3-3, but again, I mean. There's only so many tricks they can pull here.
Yep.
The runner can't be running through this double Mausolus remote too often, though. That's incredibly taxing, even with all the breakers helping out with the Unity.
Yeah, chat counted, I think it's 12 credits at this stage to run the remote, so that's a nice number for the Corp.
Brutal
to know, yeah. And
R&D, not blocked off, but with the Funhouse right on top. You can't be taking those tags. You're just giving the Corp some money at that point. You're whittling yourself down. I think you just click for credits here as the runner and wait for like a juicy advance card to show up in the remote and go grab it.
Mm-hmm. Especially since there are, I think, and again, refreshing the deck list knowledge here, yeah, there's nothing else here, no NGOs, no nothing that you could, no anything, sorry, that you could basically advance other than the good old agendas. So that's the game here. And the corp can only do so much to keep you out, so basically try to make it expensive, but that's about it. There's nothing
No
at this
Beals
stage. Exactly.
either that they could just slam down.
Yep.
Not advance, you know, is this a Rashida? Is this whatever? So yeah, at some point, the runner will know if it's in the remote, it's an agenda. Yeah, running out of cards on the runner side. Okay, embezzle.
Okay. Trying to
I wonder if they're maybe just gonna call like agendas and see if they can snag a couple out of there. Operations. Okay.
Well, that's a QPM in there. Okay. The kitty. Motion blur now. Oh, okay. Going for a bit of the money, but just waiting. Like you said, I guess. Yeah, the plan here is just okay. The core has to do something at some point. Otherwise, they're gonna get milled out. It's 5 credits. 5 cards left in R&D, 0 in the stack. This is quite cool because a snare, which the snare is in the bin, unfortunately, and we have all the spindos out. Never mind. Forget about the snare. The snare is irrelevant. But if here we go with the
The snare could have been good though.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Huge res.
Yep.
So that's both on HO and R&D, an immediate tag. Well, I guess you could bounce off the funhouse, but I don't know why you would without the wheel. So this is just making those centrals even more taxing to get through. Do you even do anything here as the runner? Maybe pay through the traces. I don't know if you break this. I don't know if you even go in with the doof.
Yeah.
Taking that damage. See, the snare would be spicy. And at some point, if you can recur those price X, you're just chipping away at that health.
That is, I think the price X would be good, but then again, yeah, how do you get them back?
Yeah. Spin Doctor giving you a little bit of recursion too, but also just accelerating you with that card draw when you res it. So it's less good for that turtling strategy, you know, that big old do nothing, shuffle all my cards back in. So I appreciate that aspect of its design. Here in Advancement, we know it has to be an agenda, but again, how punished is the runner willing to be?
But wait a sec, it's 4-3, and then I don't know. I mean, this is a 3 advance. I mean, okay, that must be the Bologna. Nothing else makes sense here, right? Or not makes sense, but like
it'll be another GFI, right?
Sorry, yeah, absolutely, totally. But it has to be a 3-point or a 5-3 agenda because otherwise, I don't know. Would you be scoring here straight away? I guess it's 4 points, 3 points. Might as well be scoring things. I don't know.
I think the Bologna's maybe a good call. Just the corp realizing they're in such a tough spot, saying maybe they'll attempt this run, not math it out correctly, end up with less than the 5 credits they need to steal the Bologna. I think Motion Blur has done their math here, though.
Yeah, this looks like the turn now.
Yeah, they're gonna let those Mausoleses give the corp a little credit here and there. That's all right, because if you win with exactly the 5 credits,
Oh, that's a QPM. Okay, that was a good
just a
ruse.
QPM. Wow.
Rused. It's still 5 points, though.
Still in the danger zone, though, because, that's a credit.
Yep.
You know, there's nothing to EOI here. They gotta grab that 15 minutes back, because at this point, if they hit that second GFI, it's game over for the corp.
Very true.
But yeah, huge.
Oh, I think I lost you, and I hope I didn't drop from the internet. Whoops. Seems I'm still connected. What happened there? Are we down on comms? Okay, can everybody...
Hey, sorry, no, that was my own QPM, my cat jumping onto my computer and hitting that power button.
Oh,
I think
bummer!
he just wants a little breakfast.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, feel free. If at any point you have to take care of your own kittens in there, otherwise they're going to get scored by the corp. Wow, okay.
No, this is the curse of having the power button on top of the computer case. Don't recommend it with pets.
Well,
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, no worries. Take it easy, Phil. Thank you so much. In the meantime, Motion Blur winning by concession, turn 24. This was a rough game. Very, very rough here. 419 basically controlling the experience on the corp side. Good game, and we have NB Kelly, unfortunately, out of the pool of the players, and we're still in, well, two tables here. Lost Geek versus Rotom Appliance or Django. Let me just very quickly check the bracket for you, just to see who's on how many lives and whatnot, because I should be checking this, right? I mean, sooner or later. Where are we again with this? Clicking buttons, looking at stuff, and there should be some remaining lives. And here we go. So we unfortunately have NB Kelly out of the race. Cable Carnage as well. Oh, but apparently the bus being on stream is a good enough payoff, so to speak, for, and let's be honest, top 12 players in the Intercontinental part. By the way, in the meantime, both tables seem to have finished while I was chatting, so it's good that I didn't try to jump and put any pressure on anybody. And here we are with with two people at the very least getting out of the pool at this stage. Let me just see if the bracket has been updated already, maybe, perhaps. Looks like it in most cases. We have Sokka winning against Django. This is the big one in the top bracket. Just to make sure that we follow this. So just to make sure, winner match 29. Okay, we do know for sure that Sokka is waiting for people from other brackets, and we're going to be focusing on the lower brackets for now.
Yep, absolutely.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. SSDs, get your computer back up real quick. Thank you.
Thank
you, technology.
Yeah. I think we have match 21 and 22 ahead of us then, but I also think, and I could be wrong, I tend to be wrong about things, which is okay, because that's how you learn. I think if this was round 4, they were numbered. Oh yeah, and the remaining step. If this is round 4, then there might be a bit of a break. Okay. 40-minute break after round 4. So we're just going to be checking if this is the case here. Very, very quickly, just to make sure that there's no confusion whatsoever. And yeah, I wouldn't mind a bit of a lunch break, but of course it's not up for me to decide. Let's just go into the Intercontinental.
Let's see what the TOs are saying.
Yeah, exactly. People are saying things. Oh, NBKL is saying, I improved my score from last year by 12, maybe in 13, sounds good to me. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. These 12 players here are in the very top, I don't even count the percentage, but like, this is, these are the folks who have fought a lot of hard and tough battles to get here, and wherever they place today,
absolutely,
it's
qualifying
through
their respective continentals, making it here today.
Yep.
So I think everyone that's in here is obviously must be very proud of their placement.
Absolutely, they should be. Let's just see. We have Space Kitten typing stuff. Probably an announcement of the break. Let's just make sure that the official announcement gets to us. Okay, there's a lot of typing happening, so... Oh yeah, I haven't asked you, Phil, sorry. Who do you think ID-wise is going to be in the finals? Because from Matt's side, Mr. Buggles, who was with me earlier on, it was, if I remember correctly, Sports Metal and Max. Do you say, would you say that the same IDs are going to be in the final? Like the
that seems incredibly likely. Yeah. If you'll just allow me a sec, let me just check what Sokka's playing. Oh, sure. A Max, and an Acme, I think is likely for the finals.
Max and Acme?
Who's gonna be playing in the finals?
that is still to be decided. The bracket is a tricky beast this time because this is an experimental setup that apparently has been vetted by everybody and tested by some. And generally, we're at the stage where we have soccer waiting for whoever's gonna win from the lower brackets playing against, I guess, at this point, well, we have to figure out who's gonna be playing from the lower brackets versus the higher, the middle brackets.
There's
and
a bunch of catching up to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and basically everybody's welcome to browse the spreadsheet. It's available. The bracket is there. I do love the
shout
format.
outs to whoever put this. This is a great spreadsheet. This is amazing.
This is a spreadsheet to end all. It doesn't even look like a spreadsheet. I mean, the columns and rows are there, but it's like it's
some real excellent stuff.
And it's automated.
Sports medal being played by about half the players here, so that's a fair bet to be able to see some of that in the finals.
Yep.
I do think on the whole it fares a bit better against most decks than the precision design. The precision design being a lot more vulnerable to something like Apocalypse doesn't help it out. Although, you know, once it gets jamming, it just goes as well.
Yep. I think we have officially a confirmation that there is a break in effect. So we should be restarting in around an hour.
An hour for lunch. Yeah, fantastic.
Well, I mean, more or less ish, yeah. But we do have a bit of time. So, well, I mean, I will be taking a lunch break as well. For you, it's going to be a breakfast break or a second breakfast? Or
absolutely.
First lunch?
Yeah, my cat just jumping in here earlier, reminding me that it is time for breakfast. So, I'm not the only one.
Oh, absolutely. Let me just very...
It was an early day for these West Coast players.
Totally.
I think starting at something like 4 a.m.
Totally. I just have to
totally
make.
Forgot to. Oh, yeah. So, are you pausing the stream here?
Yeah, I was going to ask because I didn't get any directives regarding this, and I feel a bit like Adam without directives.
It's a sad place to be, for sure. I feel like you could use a little break. I had a great time casting a few games here with you, for sure. I think there's other excellent commentators coming up this afternoon.
Oops, I just
or
typed it
evening.
in the wrong place. Yeah, but the thing is, I was going to say, no, that's okay. I just broke stuff. If you, actually, exactly. This is what we are discussing right now. Yeah, please stick around. Whatever the break's gonna be like, I would love to have you back when we're gonna be joined by Anarcho Mushroom, and then the two of you, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a great time co-commentating, and at the same time that would also give me a bit of a break on the voice side, which, well, my voice is full of steel, but still. And of course, do check in with your surroundings about this. But
absolutely, yeah. I'll check in with my cat, see if that's all right. So I might be talking later. If not, fantastic day for Intercontinentals. Happy lunch break, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us for now, and I do hope to see you back. Fingers crossed for the cats. Remember to shake the tags so that they actually go on your side and not on the corp side, unless you're actually corping today. I don't even know. Maybe you got off. Maybe you got up from your bed on the corp side, or maybe on the runner side. Who knows? It's
May the cats be ever in your favor.
Thank you so much for joining me, Phil, and looking forward to having you back if that happens. I'm jumping out of the communications for now for a sec. And folks, so just again, if you're just joining us, I'm going to be doing a bit of a recap, just a slight short recap. Do apologize. I do apologize to all the people who already know this and like, yeah, you said this before, you're repeating yourself and all that stuff. But I think it's going to be fairly good to repeat a bunch of things to a bunch of people. However, I'm also getting told that I should do a magical thing. Stop and restart immediately. Okay, we're gonna do some wild stuff here. I'm gonna stop and restart immediately. So this is just gonna be a cut in the stream, just to slice it into a shorter video, so that it's later easier to handle. Okay, so I'm just signing off for a second, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so stick around while I press the magical buttons to make things explode. Boom.